We can put our hearts together. We'll be free naturally.
Aha! La-di-da. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Roleplaying Unlimited. Agent Orange across the Pecos. We're here with a brand new zombie campaign, and very touched by the initial turnout here after a couple weeks off. Thank you all for being here. And extra thanks to the cat there on Raven's lap for also adding an extra viewer. Oh, already lost him. How's the audio levels coming in for our listeners? I know sometimes with the music and the dialogue, there can be some bit of trickiness. Are you ready to roll? Yes, indeed. Hans loves D&D. We are indeed ready to roll. And as we can see here on our central virtual tabletop, the baseball diamond, which will be the start of our first scene here. Inside of this minor league baseball stadium, an imaginary location in Carlsbad, New Mexico, it is Christmas week, 1972, and a rock and roll concert is being held for the good citizens of Carlsbad, whether they want it or not. There's actually several thousand people who have flooded into the town. And the town's population at this point, I want to say, is like less than 2,000. So the number of people who've come to visit vastly outnumber the people who actually live here. The streets are super crowded with cars that are double and triple parked. Getting to the baseball stadium has kind of become a matter of, if you weren't here a couple days ago, you're parking probably 5-6 blocks away minimum, and then walking in to get to the baseball park, where there are a multitude of bands playing, one of which is the funky, groovy band Sod, which played our opening credits there. We'll be hearing a lot from Sod's music throughout the course of this campaign, as always. Official music for Agent Orange, I should say. And here in the baseball stadium, we'll do a brief countdown of our characters. Well, that looks like Justin's character, and that's exactly what I know him by. We haven't delved too much into the names or the histories of the characters. We all kind of know among us, of course, some of the details of the characters, but we're going to explore a lot of that in the course of the campaign itself here. Up next, we have James, military-looking type carrying a rifle. How'd he get that into the concert? That's illegal.
Whoops.
And here we have Jason, a former military, but kind of a bookish type tech savant at this point in his life. One of the EMTs who's wearing an outfit that's probably about 30 years beyond this point in time, but it's the best token that I could find. That's going to be John's character. And last but not least, looking very out of place with everybody else here, we have this guy wearing a medieval garb with a sword at his side, and of course that will be Evil Dawn. We'll delve more into why his character is wearing that. He's maybe not necessarily wearing it here at the concert, but there is a reason why that's his token. And now to kick things off, we've got thousands of people here in the stadium enjoying this concert. It's the happiest time of the year. It's Christmas. Everybody's in a great mood. The concert has been rocking for 2 days straight now. Everybody's had several drinks, probably more than a few joints along the way. It is 1972. And it's just the height of excitement at the concert. And I'm going to leave it with you guys at this point here. Any introductory roleplay that you want to do among yourselves, or just kind of give me some ideas of where your characters would be at. Where I have you on the map is your quote-unquote assigned seating. So 3 of our characters are actually up here in the upper deck, watching this concert from quite a ways away. The EMT is wandering the stadium grounds, and in a VIP box behind the stage is actually Don's medieval type character.
Okay, yes. So my character, before the concert had begun, before this particular band went on stage, did some spiritual and tarot card readings for the group, and has told the band that this is going to be a concert that they will never forget, that, you know, unexpected things will be in their future. And pretty much I'm also getting ready to coming up with some ideas for my next book.
Very cool.
My character will obviously where he's sitting. He'll be more. He'll have his hands clasped in front of him, just waiting patiently. He'll constantly be looking around him, especially towards the exit. But he does, he'll make it. He'll focus on the stage. He'll be really excited to see the band starting to do their preps, the sound checks.
Cool.
But he's definitely constantly scanning around him, looking around, making sure if somebody gets near him, he kind of glares at them until maybe they back off a hair, and goes from there. Very friendly.
I tell you what, Earl's having a time of his life. He's already had a few beers. I couldn't get my whiskey in here, unfortunately. I'll be drinking some of that too. But I got some beers already. That was pretty good stuff. I'm seeing if anybody's got some of that weed. I didn't have any of my own, so I'm gonna see if I can find somebody with some of that stuff. 'Cause that's some good stuff sometimes. Be really good for this concert right now. Yeah, it's good music, good beer, good weed. Yeah, baby. And then after we're done here, I'm gonna take my dirt bike out. You want to come see me jump some shit? I'll go jump some shit for you right now.
Love it. Love it.
You can drink way over there, sir.
What's wrong? You want me to buy you a beer? I'll buy you a beer, man.
Well, you do know the beer comes from the Russians. Russians have done some things to it. And I don't recommend you drinking because it's making you stupid. And then we're gonna have to deal with it.
Nah, man. You're thinking of vodka. Vodka's from Russia. Beer ain't from Russia. This is like Coors or something. That's from like Colorado or some shit.
Are you insane? Yeah, vodka you should never put in your body. That's where the chips are. So if you want to let them commies control you.
That's nacho chips.
I don't like nacho chips. That's another story.
All right, more for me then.
More some weed then? Is that what you said?
Some more for me then. What you got, cotton in your ears, boy?
Well, none of these reek of marijuana.
I haven't even had the marijuana yet. You got some?
That's neither here nor there. But sorry, carry on, please.
The guy sitting next to James passes over a doob to Earl.
Oh, hell yeah, buddy. Yeah. Let me get some of that dope, yeah.
Yeah, you do that, man. You do it, friend.
This dude's too loose to get tight. Wow, speak of that, how about it? The song kicks off right when it happens, right when I said it.
My guy definitely snaps his head towards the stage and he closes his eyes and just enjoys the sound as it comes to him. So he's definitely just in the moment, listen to the music and just taking it all in.
Aw, yeah.
Yeah, too loose, baby, yeah.
Well, Jason, you are very close to this exchange going on here. Anything to input?
Come on, guys, let's just enjoy the show. I mean, the music's already playing. Come on. It's very rare I get a day off like this to come out like this. I had to walk almost a mile to get here.
Walking is a pretty good thing. Keeps you fit. So when the invasion comes, when the Russians,
When the Russians.
Look, I'm not worried about no
Pop.
Russians. Yeah.
they're gonna come, and you're gonna be thankful that I told you to walk all those miles. So let's just enjoy the music, please. Okay? Let's just shut up and enjoy the music.
Yeah, I run just about every day, you know. It's Air Force has their little PT stuff we got to do every day. We make sure we run. We do push-ups and sit-ups. Yeah, the base closed in Roswell, but we're still here.
Oh, I know. It's very. I wish you could have got me some more stuff, some more than those C rations and MREs, but that could have been very helpful for the nuclear holocaust that's impending. It's going to happen any given time. But anyway, I'm trying to enjoy the music. So can we just do that, please?
That's what I've been doing. You guys keep talking.
Is there a beer vendor coming around anywhere?
Oh, readily, at every turn. That is one thing that is not in short supply at this concert.
I'll buy myself and each of these two a beer.
Very cool, very cool.
My guy, before he drinks it fully, he'll pour a little bit into the cap. He'll pull the cap off. Just pour it ever so slightly, a little drop in. Taste it with his tongue, like like a frog. Once he's content that there's nothing in it, he will continue to drink normally and enjoy the music.
All right.
I'm drinking champagne in the private box and watching the concert from there.
And just remember, Dawn, there's no sex in the champagne room.
Hey, I'm hanging out with the band. You better believe it.
When the beer comes, I'm like, oh, you bought this? What's your name? What's your name? Hey, Four Eyes, what's your name? What'd you give me a beer for?
Just drink a beer, enjoy the show. Just trying to be friendly. Don't want to get into any fights in the middle of the show. Let's just enjoy the music.
Who said anything about fight? I want you to know your name so I can toast you. You just bought me a beer, bro.
There you go. I just bought a beer. Just trying to be friendly.
Well, yeah. What's your name? I'm Earl.
My name's Eric. Most everybody calls me Wolf. Well, that's my name anyways, but, you know, being in the military, it's pretty much what everybody calls me anyways, Wolf.
All right, Wolf, this one's to you.
Meanwhile, across the way here in the lower deck seats with a much closer view of the concert, our EMT, who is named Derek Rodriguez. Up till earlier, he was just named John, so now we have a name for the character, and you have been very busy this weekend taking care of more drunk people than you ever expected to see in a lifetime, let alone a weekend.
Yeah, so we're being pretty liberal out here. People can get pretty drunk before they're really going to get on my radar of needing any kind of intervention. I'm just trying to keep an eye out for anybody really having a rough go of it.
Yeah, for the most part, if they're conscious, they're still good to enjoy the concert. Most of the people you've been escorting have reached the state of unconsciousness. This particular person that you're coming up upon is passed out flat on the ground, actually on the grass level, where there's not a lot of people who are allowed to sit down there. And it looks like there's been some kind of scuffle going on because you spot numerous sprays of blood in the grass nearby this guy.
I'm not trying to deal with a fight. Is there security around?
There is security around. You don't see any of them quite nearby. Maybe back in the seats.
I will attempt to wave them down.
All right. Go ahead and just roll a d10. They're coming to get you, Barbara. Yeah, as you're waving and waving, it doesn't seem like any security takes note of you. A few people in the front row think that you're waving to them to actually come join on the grass level, and they're thinking they're lucky stars. Finally, the last show of the last day, and we're getting called up to the stage level, and like 6 people jump over the railing and start hustling across the grass.
Not that kind of wave. Get out of here.
I will wave when it comes to my opportunity.
Why would they think an EMT is waving them onto the field?
They've had like 8 or 9 drinks by this point. They're just like, he's waving us over, let's go!
Well, that should get security's attention. I guess I'll go check this guy out.
Yeah, it does not seem to draw any security immediately. The guy who's on the ground is breathing very shallowly, and the closer you get to him, you notice he's got some kind of wound on like the inside of his elbow.
I don't know what 1972 protocol is. Would I have like a partner in communication, a radio with anything like that? Or is this just here I am?
I would think yes to both of those. You don't necessarily have a partner at hand, but definitely within radio contact.
Right. Okay, I'll radio back that I'm dealing, it looks like some sort of scuffle. I've only got a victim here, but this is going to take a minute. I might need some help.
Do you need me to bring the stretcher?
Let me kind of look at the body a little bit more, and what condition do I, shallow breathing seems pretty serious.
I'll be right there with a stretcher and a couple security.
Perfect. Okay, in the meantime, I want to keep checking out this body and doing whatever diagnostic-y things, and treating whatever I might have on hand, which probably isn't a lot.
Yeah, you got your little first aid kit there on the satchel over your side, so feel free to roll a first aid.
Now, is this a D8 per rating? How does this skill work?
It's a D10 plus the relevant attribute plus your ranks in the skill. So if you click the button for the skill, it should factor all of those numbers in.
Oh, handy.
And then, of course, there's circumstance modifiers, difficulty modifiers, etc., just like any other RPG. So let's see if I can get my cursor. So yeah, you rolled a 5 plus your 4 ranks in the skill, and then I'm guessing you have 0. Hey, Terry Nooner, thanks for the follow. Looks like you have no relevant attribute.
It says I have rating 5, and then intelligence should be the attribute, which should be 4.
I see. So is it that you have no rank? Or okay, I see what it is. So it came out right.
Well, I think it came out. I should have a +9, not a +8, right? If it's first aid, there I have 5 ranks, or rating 5.
Right. It's 5 plus 4. Plus 4 is what you rolled on the D10.
Oh, I thought it said rolling parentheses 5. I thought that's what I rolled.
Nope, that's
Oh,
the
5
formula.
plus 4 plus 1d10. Okay. You right, you right.
Yeah, looks pretty good. As you're investigating his wound, it looks like maybe somebody came at him with like a broken beer bottle or something, and you do find broken bits of bottle on the ground nearby. As you're checking him out further, his breathing stops.
Now, this is on the floor of the stadium.
Correct, yeah, they're pretty far away from you guys up here in the upper decks. This
Cool,
map
just
is, yeah, this map is definitely not to scale because as you can see, there's like 16 chairs in these few squares right here to your south.
Okay. Does this wound need any triage?
You would guess it would need some kind of some bandaging. It is still freely bleeding, but the fact that he stopped breathing entirely, that would seem to be the more urgent necessity.
Right, and I guess what I'm getting at is, do I think that these things are related in the sense that he stopped breathing because of this injury? And so in order to get him breathing again, I need to treat the injury.
Nothing that you're able to ascertain offhand. There's no direct correlation that makes any sense.
And is he still on his face at this point?
He is.
Okay, yeah, we gotta roll him over, get him on his back.
All right.
And then I guess I'll begin trying to resuscitate.
All right. Let's hope these are not trained to Busan living dead. Go ahead and roll a first aid.
Well, yeah, well, definitely hope not.
Staying Alive's not out yet to do CPR to.
They still use that. They still use that reference.
First I was afraid, I was petrified. So a first aid of 14. Alright, you are beginning life-saving measures on this guy, and you're unable to tell if you've made any kind of difference for the positive. He's still not breathing, but you sense a crowd gathering nearby you, and as you glance up briefly, you notice that it's your partner Jim and the 2 security officers that he came with, and the security are starting to push the larger crowd back.
Well, that's good. I'll continue until they're here to basically load this guy up and see if we can get a machine on him or something.
Oh yeah. As soon as the crowd is pushed back, Jim helps you get this guy up on the stretcher, and he says, "We need to get him to the triage area. We got to get him off the field."
Yes, I help to expedite that process.
Very cool. So you guys are moving this patient away. Anything particular going on with you down here, Don, or are you still just enjoying the concert?
Enjoying the concert. I'm actually doing some tarot reading for myself. I'm keeping an eye over my shoulder every time this prop demon thing that they used in one of the other bands moves in the breeze, because I kind of think that it's alive and it's now starting to become possessed.
AC Green, thanks for the follow. Welcome. So you're doing a tarot reading for yourself, and what kind of results are you thinking?
I'm actually thinking from the tarot results that the demon that's been plaguing me is at this concert and was summoned by the last band that was on.
Interesting. And care to fill anybody in any of our fellow players or audience on what this demon exactly entails? You don't have to give all the beans away.
Basically, it's when I was in college, I studied the occult, and with my then girlfriend, and being a science major, um, I decided that science and occult actually has a mixed connotation to it. So I started coming up with some theses on it, and due to the fact that I was actually breaking through to the other side, that's when this demon decided to target me. Through its actions, it ended up killing my wife and 2 kids, and this was 10 years ago, and this demon has been plaguing me ever since.
Interesting.
Okay, Rasputin. That's nice to know.
Was that the inspiration for the Doors song?
I'm not sure. They may have come to my bookstore, which is on 2215 Main Street, and it sells all sorts of occult material, tarot cards, books, several books that I've written, and when I'm in the store, I actually autograph them for you.
Oh, that's awesome. So do we notice this little starting to turn into a quagmire down there on the floor?
You can roll some notice checks.
D10 or just use the character sheet?
Yeah, the character sheet, feel free to click on your notice skill if you have it. If you do not, then just roll a difficult perception. Well, Earl can see that this glass is now empty and he needs a refill.
Looks like I'll just be rolling a D10.
Go on to the front page where the perception is, where it says difficult, click that.
Oh yeah, Eric sees. He can confirm also that Justin's beer is empty. Any attempt from you there, James?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if my character would be, I guess, engaged enough to try it. But yeah, let me
That's
try.
fair. Yeah.
Actually, I'm not seeing it that I have perception. Would it be notice? Would that be the most
Correct.
appropriate?
Yeah, notice is the skill, perception is the attribute. Alright. And we did get an extra roll there from Eric using the correct modifiers. And you're definitely able to see that there's stuff going on the grass, but that's not necessarily anything unusual. There's not a lot of people that are allowed to sit down there, but there are some people. And they've been causing the worst kinds of, well, not worst, but just a lot of partying and a lot of revelry going on down there. And this kind of looks like that, just another instance of it.
Okay. I'll just kind of point. I'm not really going to say anything because I'm just listening. I'm just like kind of pointing, as if, look, what's going on.
Yeah, I'll look down that way. I do notice the disturbance, but I'm more like, oh, great, it's idiots fighting again, or idiots that's overdosed on something, looks like, and just continue listening to music. But he will nod, this acknowledging Eric's look over there.
Alrighty. And at this point, Dawn, you're not sure whether it was the nachos or the tacos, but one of them is proving very disagreeable with you, and you are going to be forced to seek solace elsewhere.
I shall locate the restroom.
All right.
Rule number 2: clear the restrooms.
The bubble guts.
Suck butt.
There's no rule roll that I have to make to find the bathroom, right?
There's no roll necessary to find the bathroom. What I want to ask you, Don, is what is your character's tolerance level for public restrooms, especially mass concert hippie-infested public restrooms?
Not as, I mean, it's not like, hey, I'm going to stroll in there and poop where I want to. No, he'll be meticulous and try to find the cleanest of the stalls and try to clean it up even a little bit more.
Alrighty. So thankfully it's not an urgent emergency to the point where when you wander into the first bathroom, you're like, okay, this is just disgusting. Nobody has been in here all day. You have a little bit more time to find something that's more suitable to where you're finally able to relieve yourself. Unfortunately, or fortunately, that takes you all the way up here to the upper deck level, not too far away from the rest of our characters. You're just inside the stadium rather than out here in the seating area.
Man, I can't believe they wrecked the VIP bathroom as well as the other bathrooms.
Well, yeah, that the bands did that on their own.
You know, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, I pull out one of my crystals and I look deep within it and it's like, there's a reason why that I was removed from the stage. Maybe it was that demon that was hiding backstage there that forced me out.
As the band continues to play, they're now nearing the end of their set, and the fans here are just getting wilder and wilder with excitement as the entire weekend is finally coming to a conclusion. They don't want it to. They want more songs. They want more music. And the applause and the cheering masks a lot of what is actually going on in certain parts of the stadium, as more and more of our living dead are wandering in here, and somewhat in disguise considering the poor perceptions of everybody who's intoxicated and just the mass number of people who are in this stadium to begin with. It's not until the band stops playing, all of a sudden, in the middle of their final song, that anybody starts perceiving that something is amiss. And even then, it takes a few moments to figure out what it is, because all it looks like is a mass panic of people running every which way they can possibly get to, and trampling over any poor soul who's unfortunately caught in the way. Those of you who are here in the upper decks, this is not immediately affecting you. You've actually got a decent vantage point on everything that's going on down below you here. You're just kind of wondering, well, how do we get... Where do we go? Should we go? I mean, what are your options at this point? And John, for your character, you're now kind of caught up in the midst of all this without knowing exactly what's going on. All of a sudden, there's just people shouting and screaming. The music has stopped. And there's people just rushing to and fro and battering you as they charge through you.
Fuck that! I don't get paid enough for this shit. I'm taking cover.
Hey man, what the hell's going on down there? You see that shit? What the hell? That lady just got ran over. What the fuck?
Well, looks like to me like the music stops. So they're probably very upset. Actually, I don't know. They're stepping.
Eric stands up to see if he can get a better view. He's like looking down, what's going on, looking all around. You know, what's Where'd the band go? What's going on?
It's demons. It's demons, I tell you.
We didn't hear like gunfire or anything like that, right? Or explosion.
No gunfire, no explosions. The stage is a very busy area right now. It looks like a lot of people are escaping the grass to get up on the stage. The band was almost instantly evacuated, and it looked like some of them went one way, some of them went another way. But they seem to be completely gone right now.
I knew it. I knew it. It's those demons.
This is the guy who's in the bathroom.
Well, I see the kind of chaos that's going, and it's making me a little anxious. Like I'm not liking that everybody's starting to mob out towards exits. So I'm gonna kind of get up and kind of look over at Eric and like, you know, that doesn't seem normal, right? I don't know if I want to stay up here when all that's happening down there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that happen at a concert before. I'm gonna kind of make my way to the aisle.
yeah.
Right out-
What's the rest? I mean, it's obviously more than just the three of us up here. What's the rest of the people up here doing?
They're all kind of doing what you guys are. They're all just kind of looking curiously every which way, just trying to figure out what's going on. A lot of conversations going on among themselves. And directly outside your bathroom stall, as you are finishing up there, Don, you hear a woman's terrified scream, which you're not sure how many people actually could hear it other than you, because there's such a loud din of just screams and excitement going on outside. You're kind of like, this doesn't sound right, especially now that the music has stopped. You're kind of in an interesting situation where you're only hearing what's going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish up pretty quickly, and I'm going to make my way outside. What's going on over here?
Oh yeah, there is a woman who is laying in a rapidly spreading pool of blood, and there's a guy that's like mounted on top of her, and it looks like he's pummeling and beating her to death. And as you watch, it looks like he even lunges in and like bites her on the face.
Hey, you. That's no way to treat a lady.
Yeah, and you're not sure if anybody hears that. You barely hear it yourself as like 30 people come rushing down this corridor, and at least 6 or 7 of them just run right into this downed woman and her attacker. Now there's just a big, like, cartoon tumbleweed, like Tasmanian devil effect going on of people here who are all just kind of tripping over each other. Through the midst of it, you think you see another flashing pair of teeth and another spray of blood from somebody in there.
Oh my god, demonic possession. I can handle this. No, I can't. I don't have my tools. I'm going to be heading over this way.
And John, you're not sure if your radio's not working. You're not sure if your partner's even responding to you, because you've got that thing pressed up against your ear and you don't hear anything, but he could be responding to you and you just don't hear it over all the screams around you. Every so often, somebody's like knee or shoe or foot, whatever, will like kick into you from where you're currently crouched down. So you're not sure this is the safest place.
Yeah, what's my path? What are my kind of options?
Well, right now you're back in the lower deck seats, so it's very confined in here. There's a lot of places to find cover, but there's still hundreds of people who are just spilling through this area every few seconds.
If I can get back on the field, is it possible to climb my way back up into the stands?
It definitely is. It wouldn't be the easiest climb because the walls are built to prevent that, but it's certainly possible for anyone with some level of athletic talent.
Yeah, it turns out that's not really me.
Ah!
There must be like, still some way for even security to access from the field to the stands, right? So,
Oh,
there
yeah.
a passageway like that I can find?
I figure those are like at the points, Like right here, here, etc.
Yeah, I want to make my way over to something like that and try to, I don't know, maybe run against the crowd.
Okay. Let's see if we can find an appropriate skill for that, because it's hard to dictate exactly where the crowd is going, because they're kind of going everywhere at this point.
Well, that's fair, I guess. I just assumed they were heading for like the exit and the ground level.
They're
Um,
definite. That seems to be where the majority of them are trying to go, but as anybody kind of runs into a blockade, there's this immediate shift of, okay, we'll go this way instead, or well, we're going to go this way instead, and it just kind of causes this mass chaos. Feel free to roll a notice check, though, to see if you can kind of make heads or tails of it. And then those of you back in the upper deck, as you're starting to make your way towards one of the only exits from here that's just going to take you down into the bowels of the stadium and eventually back out to the lower decks, Don's character wanders out, and he's seen some stuff that from in the direction that you guys are getting ready to head.
Stop! There are demons ahead. We need to find another way.
You okay, man? What are you talking about, demons?
Demonic possession. That's what's got these people. The last band summoned all these demons, and now they're inhabiting these bodies. And we need to find a way out of here before we're eaten too.
Yeah, it looks like the crowd's panicking. Let's get through the causeway and get out of here.
Agreed. Let's go. And he starts looking for ways, even if it means climbing over. He'll start doing it.
With my photographic memory, do I remember the way to the VIP garage from here?
Oh, absolutely.
Nobody heard you, Dan, if you said something.
Absolutely.
Hey, follow me. I know how to get to the VIP garage.
And as Don turns around, one of those fang-bearing people with blood all over his claws lunges right at you, and you see your life flash before your eyes as this thing's fangs are coming right at your face. And the thing's head explodes instantly as a police officer who's not too far away draws aim on it and shoots the thing in the head, and it just falls down lifeless at your feet. And the officer looks at those of you who are assembled here, in addition to a dozen or so more who are also still here trying to figure out what their next move will be. Follow me! This way!
That's it. Time to go.
Anything you say.
That's the first gunshot.
That's the first one you guys have heard. There could have possibly been other ones further deeper in the crowd, but this one was close enough that you guys clearly heard it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll whip my head around. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, shit just got real. Oh, crap.
Do I hear the gunshot, or is the noise too loud?
You do not hear the gunshot.
I'm too high for this shit.
All right. Well, last thing I heard was this guy was going to show us to the VIP garage, so we're going to follow him. That's probably a less populated way out, even though he's now probably following the police officer.
Who may not necessarily be going to the VIP garage.
Correct. But I don't know
I will
that.
correct the officer, though. No, the VIP garage is this way.
I'll stick with the guy with the gun.
Buff one?
Oh yeah, I'm going along with him. But it's no mystery. It's no mystery. He keeps putting his hand in the small of his back every so often, like he's adjusting something, but he keeps moving with everyone.
All right. And back to Derek, who's down on the lower deck. It seems counterintuitive, but you're thinking that the way to go might be up. just because, if nothing else, it gets you away from this mass panic, and it gives you a perspective to be able to see, perhaps, like from a bird's eye view, a better way to go.
100%. I mean, yeah, that was my thinking when I said I was thinking about climbing up the rafters here, or the stairs. So, I mean, that's still my goal. I just don't trust my ability to climb.
Yeah, for sure, and especially considering that the easier pathways are mostly occupied by people coming and going in any which way. But if you time it right and luck is with you, then you think you might be able to find an easier way to get up than down and out of here.
Other thing I'm thinking is that the band likely has an out this way. 'Cause I would imagine they'd have to load everything for the stadium, all the equipment from back here.
More than likely.
So, kind of wanted to get up in this area if I can.
Sure. It's in that area, in fact, that our other cast members from the original Agent Orange story, they're up in that area right now. We got Charles, we got Ted, and Doug, and I forget everybody's character's name from that era, but that was the way that they went. They went out with the band into the parking lot, and they're currently just trapped in the midst of all that. And if you look very closely on the field right about here, actually I'm just bullshitting, but you can see Charles's taco that he dropped way back in the day.
No, wait, I gotta double back for that.
Taco!
Yeah, there's some pretty good tacos around here, so yeah, that's definitely Save the Taco. That's our t-shirt now, Save the Taco.
Pretty awesome. All right, so John is starting to make his way up, and the rest of you are starting to make your way southwest in this, more or less, this kind of direction. Hard to see exactly with my black arrow there, but you should be able to see the distance marker in any case.
I'm going to pull out one of my several religious symbols and start praying to whatever god that particular symbol has.
Reminds me of Benny from The Mummy.
Exactly.
He's got like 9 of them just hanging around. Nope. How about this one? Nope. Alright, and it is by no means an easy struggle, but with a police officer leading your path, he's got a bit of training, which, not to say your group is entirely bereft of, but he seems to be keeping his cool a little bit more in this situation, perhaps. And it is in that respect that I'm going to have all of your characters roll a willpower check. Yeah, just click. There we go.
Is it a fear-based thing?
It is.
Because I do have nerves of steel.
Pretty cool.
And unless it's like crazy, like supernatural, crazy evil stuff, I don't even have to check for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely crazy and not something that your character's ever seen before, so in that respect I would think a roll would be called for, but the severity of it is definitely not that of like an alien invasion or something.
Okay.
That we know of.
Yeah, hopefully we're not going to go the route of the dead won't die. The worst zombie movie ever.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Save yourself the time and don't. It's got a star-studded cast, and you get about 15 minutes into it, and you're like, huh, Well, I guess I'll watch and see where it's going. And then about an hour and a half after that, you're like, man, I wish an hour and a half ago I would have just stopped it. Yeah, Annie knows. Annie watched that movie with me. I actually gave it a second try because I was like, I mean, how bad can it be? It's got freaking Bill Murray in it. It's got Kylo Ren. It's got Tilda Swanson. Freaking the RZA is in it. Like everybody that's in this movie, Danny Glover's in it. You're like, whoa, whoa, all right, I'm gonna watch this, and then you're just like, oh, ah.
I also have situational awareness, so that I get a bonus to my perception to sense trouble or danger in the immediate area.
Well, I guess if you want to spend time looking around, you will get a bonus on every roll because there's danger all around you. You don't have to worry about that. In this case, all of your willpower checks are sufficient to only impose the minorest of penalties, which is a loss of 1 essence point right now. You're still able to keep your wits about you. You're still able to move in the direction you want without being overcome with terror and having to flee. And again, being led by the police officer imposes a certain bonus to these rolls in addition to some of the skills and qualities that your characters already have. We Murtaghs know. All right.
So do we just mark it down on, reduce it on the sheet, or how do you want to? How are we supposed to do that?
I would probably put it in the notes section because it doesn't seem like these sheets have a current and maximum bar. At least for your life points, you can mark it off on your token because you have the bar for that. But everything else, like your endurance points and your essence points, I would just use the notes.
Okay, because I still have the arrow feature to go up and down on my points.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can always have that. It's just you won't necessarily remember what the maximum was supposed to be. All right, and with our police officer leading us down in this direction, we come to a closed door that is leading to the lower deck balcony. And on the other side of that closed door, we will find out as Officer Wexel gives it a slight open and peers around the corner. And it seems like you've found one of the areas in the stadium that is currently void of panic, or people for that fact. So you guys kind of actually find a quiet spot that the officer just puts a finger up to his lips and starts walking through.
I'll definitely be like waving down anybody who's not immediately with us, like, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Okay. Yeah, a few people notice your gesture, and easily a dozen or so people who were with you up in the upper decks are still tagging along with this group. So there's easily about 20, 25 of you at this point following Officer Wexel.
Okay, so does this bring us to like a mid-level, like second story from a third?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. And this is an outside balcony that looks outside the stadium over everything?
It is not. You're actually inside the stadium itself. You're in an entirely enclosed area. Like there's the food and the drink vendor booths and what have you in this section.
We're like in the mezzanine kind of area?
Pretty much. And John, let's roll another notice from you. Okay. Well, your intuition is telling you that this is the way to go, but you're looking around and you're still not seeing what it is you're hoping to see, except for you have made your way into the interior of the stadium, and at least for the time being, there's not a lot of people around you. But as you're continuing to head closer to the northeast of your current position, toward where you think the band is making their escape from the stadium, you immediately come across a dozen people who have their backs to you, and they're all kind of just hunched over. Some of them have tattered clothes. Some of them are covered in blood. Some of them are just breathing very, very heavily and quickly, and you just kind of, that's not right. And you're maybe like 30 feet away from them.
Let's see. I'm gonna roll a check here for myself. Okay. Is it reasonable that I might think these people have some sort of viral infection?
I think we can roll with that.
Is there anything I have I can use to fashion a makeshift mask?
Yeah, sure. Tear off part of your jacket.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to find the place with the least amount of people, and I'm gonna try to go there.
All right. So I'm going to guess that's an about face and heading back where you just came from.
If that's where the least amount of people are, then yes.
Oh, yeah. And that will be right about here in the mezzanine above where the stage was. You guys are inside the stadium at this point. And Officer Wexel draws his pistol on what he hears to be a single target moving around the corner. And thankfully, John, as it is you who rounds the corner, the officer immediately pulls up his weapon upon recognizing, okay, this is an innocent, and you see there's about 20, 25 people here, none of which seem to be infected like those other ones you saw in the direction that this group is going.
I think immediately upon seeing the gun, I'd just be like, "Whoa! Whoa, man! What is with the gun?"
Yeah, I would
Officer-
have definitely shot him. I would have definitely shot him. If that was me, sorry.
Officer throws a finger up. He's like, quiet! You might hear us.
Quiet? What? What?
Everybody knows that demons here are on an extra level that doesn't preclude sound. They actually hear what's inside your heart.
No, the Russians do that, not demons. The Russians have hearing devices.
Hey, maybe
Kinda
it's
looks like-
Russian demons, man. You don't know.
Oh my
Maybe
god,
they
we're
are.
gonna die.
I'm just looking at these two and shaking my head like, really?
That's
told you
what
they
the
were-
officer's doing.
I told you the Russians could do this, and nobody listened. I told you they could infect us.
Demon. It's the
It's
occult.
not demons. It's Russians, and they're trying to infect us with that crazy stuff. They want the communism to be here, and nobody wanted to listen to me. So now we
Look,
got crazy people running around wanting to eat people or beat people to death. It's a rage virus. That's
the
what it
cards
is.
told me that this was going to happen. The cards told me. I wish I had told the band the truth about what was going on, but you know, I didn't want to panic them before they went on stage and before I got my paycheck.
Where'd you get the cards from? You.
My bookstore. I sell these particular tarot cards. These are my own design.
What's the origin of the cards? That's what I'm asking.
They're a European origin. They're like Transylvanian in style.
Or maybe it's Russian, and they're telling you what you want to hear. So maybe you should put those away. I think they're going to give you nothing but bad information.
Yeah, at this point, as you guys are continuing to talk, you notice that the officer has led most of the people further down the hall because he's like, all right, these two are on their own. And whether or not any of you are following the officer or you're actually sticking around to watch how this debate ends up, most of the people are now wandering away from this.
Well, as you started moving away with the rest of the group, I would have like tapped both of them on the shoulder, like, "Come on, let's go."
What?
Going this way.
We ghost you, motherfucker. You give us up one more time, I bleed you real quiet. If you hear, got that?
That's an awesome Bill Duke. That's an awesome Bill Duke.
Over there.
I see you.
Sorry.
Turn around.
That's awesome. That was awesome.
Anytime.
I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun.
Wait, where's everybody going?
Over there.
Cool. We got to keep up with them.
Where is where's Justin going? Like, which direction? Like, is he? I'm looking over there to see if there's like a fire exit or a ladder or something.
I'm following the cop and the other people as they were leaving you guys to your argument. I'm like, come on, let's go, guys. What the fuck?
Okay,
Officer,
I'm starting to look for like a fire axe or a pipe or something. I don't know, a broom, so I could have at least something to defend myself with now.
All right. And Jason, you do find the fire axe. I think I
officer,
have.
the parking garage, the VIP parking garage is over that way.
1 second. Yeah, I guess that would be. Huh. Is that a wood axe or a battle axe?
I'd just go with a wood axe. It's whatever's probably the lowest.
Yeah,
Battle axe is probably a little bigger.
Yeah, it's a D4 times your strength modifier. So feel free to tack that onto your character sheet. And the officer looks back at you, Don, and he just says, "We may be able to make it there. We might not be able to. First thing, we need to get out of here, okay?"
Right, but if we get down to the VIP garage, there's where the buses are that we can use to get out of here.
That seems to be where the mass majority of people are heading from what I last saw outside. The bands went there, all the VIPs, and at least a few hundred people who saw that that was the way the wind was blowing. I'm thinking, at this point, this southern exit may be a little less guarded. We can definitely keep an eye out and see if a path presents itself.
Yeah, good idea. I don't know if going with the big mass of people is a good idea. Like it just seems like we're big group, big problem.
Sometimes he knows what he's talking about. Sometimes he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if John revealed to you guys what he just saw on this same level up to the northwest that prompted him to turn back around in this direction, because John was thinking of heading in the same direction and he turned around for whatever reason.
Yeah, I'm not even particularly thrilled to be. I still have my mask or whatever on. I'm not even particularly thrilled to be around anyone right now. We should not be close to each other.
What's wrong with your face, man? What you got that mask on for?
I have a mask on, and you should have a mask on too, and all of you should probably have masks on, because this is some kind of viral infection.
A viral infection created by demons.
Nope. I told you it was the calm.
We don't have time for this.
I'm just looking from one to the other to the next as one after the other excuse comes up. And I'm like, I don't care what it is. Let's just get out of here because it's dangerous here.
Okay, mask. You said you had a mask. Can I have the mask, please?
Looks like that mask is made out of his clothes, man.
You think I just am carrying masks? Yeah, pull your shirt up. I don't know, man.
Well, you're a medical professional. I would assume that you would have extra masks, protective equipment. Don't you have that?
Yeah, back in my truck. You want to come back?
Well, I mean, if it's close, we can jump in there. Yeah, absolutely. You probably
It's
have some other things.
absolutely not close. It's got about 4,000 people between us and it.
Okay, well, that's a lost cause. Okay, let's keep going then. What's your name, sir? I'm looking at John's character. What's your name?
Derek. Man, Derek.
Sorry, Derek. I know it's probably you maybe not have seen something like that.
Hi,
I see two things.
I'm
I
Paul
see two things,
Gorman.
okay.
Maybe you've heard of me. You know, I've written several books, been on a couple talk shows.
Nah, I don't read a lot, man. I'm gonna say my character has a bandana, and he's gonna take that, and put that around his face.
Okay.
I'm going to do the same with my ascot.
That's right. Trust your doctor. Put the mask on. This is a
Fred, we
meta.
got Fred.
Because, hey, this is the 70s. You know, the ascot is in.
Wow. I'm just gonna rip a sleeve off my T-shirt and use that as like a cover for my mouth and nose, almost like a gator, kind of.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not gonna cover my face. I've got the fire axe. I'm more worried about defending myself. If it's in the air, it's already there.
All right. And Officer Wexel leads you guys down to the ground level, but here near the front entrance side, which it looks like there is a straight shot out into the front parking lot. However, immediately at the bottom of the stairs, there's just a mass of people, and it looks like there's a riot going on, like just dozens of people fighting each other. And as you're looking at this from where you're at, you're like, we might be able to get down there and like hug the walls to get in a certain area, but getting through that is going to be very difficult.
Is there like in the overhead down here? Is there like essentially cabling? Because a lot of times they run along the ceiling, but you climb on them because it's just like brackets holding the wires. Is there anything like that we can use to maybe run along the top, along the ceiling of the ground floor?
There is a path up there, but it's not accessible from the ground. It's not like you can just reach it from standing on the ground. There's no ladder to give you access up to it. But if you had a ladder or something with some elevation, you could feasibly do that.
Any crates, like rolling crates you'd see for concerts, or maybe like a push, where the food carts, like a cart that you would see at some of these venues. Is there something like that nearby that maybe I could push up to the wall and climb up to?
You're uncertain about the height of it, but you did see some on this level that you already passed. You do see some down there below you as well, but you'd again have to get through the riot just to get one of those carts, whereas back behind you it seemed to be clear.
Is it kind of a height that you, and like somebody just boost somebody, or do we need more height than that?
It's possible. I want to say the ceiling's probably like 15 feet up, so a boost might be able to get it. One of these carts might be able to. I'd say if you were able to somehow stack two carts top each other, it's a given.
Is there any fire extinguishers nearby?
There's a fire extinguisher.
I'm going to grab it. I'm going to use my jerry rigging and turn it into a makeshift concussion device that I'm going to toss down there and see if I could disperse them with the exploding fire extinguisher.
Dan, what kind of firearm does the officer have, by chance?
He's got a 45.
A fine weapon for more civilized age.
You ain't messing around. Most officers around this time carry a little 38.
Oh yeah, this guy came loaded to bear.
He's packing some heat.
I still don't see why the gun is necessary at all. Just these people are sick, but
I have science chemistry, science physics, and mechanics,
Deadly combination.
as well as traps.
I kind of walk up towards the officer and be like, "Sir, what are your I'm trying to think how to word this so you understand. How American are you?"
Which of those
Officer
skills should
looks
I use?
around at all of you. He's like, "What is up with all the damn conversation right now? This is a life or death situation."
I understand. And this is a life or death question. How much do you love your country, sir? Does he flip me off?
He flips you off, and then he starts looking back down there below. Don, any one of those skills I would say is appropriate.
I'm going to use chemistry because it's my better skill.
Okay.
Jerry rig gives me the ability to roll it twice and take whichever roll that I wish.
Okay. If there's anything we're going to discuss, it's what our medical guy here has to say about this being a virus, but even that has to wait until we get out of here.
I'm going to select the 18.
Aw, come on, live dangerously. Roll a third one and take that one.
No, I want the 18.
Okay. So you think you've got this thing ready, and yeah, just give it a toss down there, I guess, a dexterity roll. Unless you have training in improvised weaponry.
I see him
I
build-
do not.
I see him building that. I'm like, hey man, what you doing with that?
Oh, shit.
You know fires around here?
I think I know what he's doing. I think we should get ready to run if we can.
Oh, I can do that. I'm just good to know that there's a true patriot among us that's going to get us out of here. 'Cause he loves his country. He hates communism.
Well, shit gets real very fast after Paul finishes his device here, and he gets maybe onto the first step, or maybe not even on a step at all before he tosses it in that direction. But as he's preparing to do so, the melee going on at the bottom of the stairs is a lot more blood-soaked than it was 30 seconds or so ago. And a few people in that melee are now starting to get up covered in blood. Looks like they've got some kind of flesh in their mouths. And they look up, and a couple of them catch sight of you guys just kind of standing there at the top of the stairs. Some of you around the corner. Most of the people just kind of standing there like, what the hell's going on here? And some of them start making their way up the stairs very quickly, I might add, as Paul then tosses his makeshift device, which is just horribly aimed. He doesn't need to necessarily hit a specific spot, but this is just god-awful aiming. It impacts the wall on the side of the staircase before hitting the stair, and then rolling and then bouncing down the stairs before it then lets loose with its concussion effect before it even hits the mass of people. The two ferocious-looking monster people that were starting to rush up the stairs towards you guys are thrown face first onto the stairs, and it looks like one of them breaks a jaw. And then even with that, they both look up almost instantly with this just ferocious look in their eyes, as all of you now look at each other, and you can hear something behind you as well, as it sounds like easily like 50 people are running towards your location.
Okay, we gotta go.
I just make sure that I maintain 6 foot distance from everyone and everything at all times.
I mean, what options does it look like we have as far as movement? I mean, we can't go down these stairs, right? It's just blocked.
Right? It seems like it's rocking a hard place. At least downstairs, there's the temporary distraction on some of them from the concussion. Behind you, you have nothing of that sort. So even though it's the lesser of two evils, it seems like down would still be your better bet.
Can we run parallel though? Is there any option to go, over?
Well, we were in process of thinking about going over them, but that seems to be a moot point now, as we can't take the time to go back and get those carts like James was talking about. Thank you,
Yeah.
CJ.
Could we go back this way though, and look at the right where the dugout is, right here? Is there a way to get from this level down to the dugout, down to the ground?
Not from the second level. You would actually have to go down into that stuff and then hug the wall to access the dugout. Because technically you're still above the dugout while you're here at the top of the stairs.
All right, let's rush past.
Is it like is it just stairs that are walled in? Is there any way to like kind of go up and around, like climb up something, or?
There is once you get like halfway down the stairs. The wall hugs the stairs up until that point, but then once you get halfway down, there is the railing. You could hop over that. And it seems like that would probably be the best possible first move to take. Because then at least you're down you're down on that level, but you're not necessarily right in the midst of everything going on.
Yeah, we're going to quickly take advantage of that while that concussion bomb did its job absolutely perfectly, and you guys have no idea that it went wrong.
So I was just like, let's go for the railing. Let's go.
All right, let's roll some athletics, acrobatics, or raw physical attribute checks, depending on whatever you've got at your disposal, just to get down there, hop the railing, and land on the floor without breaking something.
You guys are gonna love this. This is gonna be great.
I have science physics. Can I utilize the knowledge of physics to try to lessen any impact?
I'll give you a circumstance bonus. You still have to roll the actual physical roll to get out, but yeah. Got Earl, Paul, Eric, Derek. Eric and
Looks
Derek.
like I'm gonna be the person that trips in the middle of the forest.
Oh, thank you very much for the host there, CJ. Much appreciated. All right. Well, we do have a sizable group who are, at least at this point, interested in helping each other out. Some of them appear a little off-put by some of the communism versus demonology discussion going on in the group, but for the most part, you're all still on the same page. So even with Eric's poor roll, there are 3 people down there already who are just like, come, and they help you get your leg over the railing, and they pull you down just as one of the fast zombies basically dives through the space where you just were. And no sooner do you guys reach that ground level that the 50 or so people you thought you heard coming behind you do in fact reach the stairs, and they're spilling down over the stairs right into the midst of all that shit that's going on the bottom level. And any survivors who were in there are probably not going to be in such a state for much longer. There's a lot of screams, a lot of growling and whatnot, and a lot of blood spraying through the air right here. You guys are in like a very small alcove that is thankfully free of any of these monsters right now. But you are less than 5 feet away from stepping out into their line of sight, because that's the way you're going to have to go if your intent is to get to the dugout. If you want to just go straight shot and try to get out the front doors, you're going to have to run through basically all of these things.
Might be a better bet to try and go a more stealthy route than try and run past these things that seem to be able to be, these people are pretty fast too, so.
If we can make our way into the down to the storage areas, we might be able to find the athletic equipment that they use, and at least we would be able to have some weapons to fight these things off with.
What are we supposed to use? Harsh language?
No, I mean their equipment should have baseball bats, and they may have a workshop down there. We might be able to find a nail gun or anything like that.
And when he says that, I pull out a 38 handgun and go, well, I got this. Oh, I don't know about the rest of you.
Officer looks over to you. You've been holding that this whole time? Get up here and help me.
Yes, officer. That's why I was talking to you before. I just wanted to make sure we're going to be on the same page when I did that. I got your back. I'm an expert shot. Best in Boy
world.
Scouts for sure.
I
But
don't think we
definitely
need
Boy
your entire resume here.
Let's just fucking
Let's
go.
shoot them.
Stop talking, let's go.
He like moves up there and stands next to the officer, like almost doing like a Charlie's Angels type pose. The gun's like over there by the side of his head, and he's like scanning around for threats.
I'll stand in between the two of them with the axe held high with 2 hands.
Oh, deadly trio. We're gonna get through this, gentlemen. We're gonna get through this, no problem.
All right, let's roll some notice checks, and then we'll follow it up with some stealth checks. Go ahead and roll both of those right now, and then once you've done so, we will see.
What do we see?
Wow,
I have a +2 on that roll, so
that's
it's
a lot of
15.
natural ones.
Yeah, that's a little unusual.
Yeah, double
I'm-
nat ones from Jason.
Not on a D10.
How many is it we're supposed to roll? One notice?
Correct. Either roll a notice and then roll a stealth, or perception and dexterity if you don't have the appropriate skills.
I seem to be rolling okay.
And the when you have to roll the attribute, when you don't have the skill, is it always difficult?
Most likely it is, but for right now we're kind of playing loose and free with the rules. So roll whatever works for you.
Okay, because I was rolling difficult.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been adding a lot of circumstance bonuses in your favor as well, to the point where the rolls are kind of a moot point, but if I see a double natural one in there, I might have some fun with it.
I've been hitting difficult rather than the regular perception or regular button. I didn't know there was a difference with them.
Now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
The other
still
half
don't
is
know what
extreme
you're talking
violence.
about.
Alright, so we got some notice checks that are pretty decent. We have some stealth checks that are not as good, but
Bless you, Justin, by the way.
some of them that are okay. Yo, Joe! Alright, and we'll go ahead and take our one and only commercial break at this point here and leave it on a cliffhanger of you guys stepping out stealthily into the hall that is infested with living dead. Very fast, fresh living dead, I might add. So yeah, we will take a 10 here and be back 7:50 or shortly thereafter. Thanks for joining all tonight, and we will be back shortly. Welcome back. Welcome back. What's up, everyone?
Ready to go.
How y'all digging it so far?
I'm enjoying it. I wish I could hear the music while I'm playing. I just can't listen to all. There's too much echo going on.
Right.
I think it's going great. I think we're doing perfect, actually, to be honest. So I think we should keep doing what we're doing.
Digging it like a grave.
Digging through the ditches, burning through the witches.
I'm not sure if I double muted myself upon leaving for the break, or if for like the last half hour our viewing audience hasn't been able to hear me, but hopefully it's the former, because I had my headset mute and the Streamlabs mute on at the same time. I was like, oh crap, was I muted for the stream? Damn it!
I guess we'll find out on the rewatch.
Exactly. If that's the case, then I'll just have to do the text edit after the fact, where I'm just texting in, "Hey, cool, CJ says you could hear me," so I guess I just did that here in the last few moments. Welcome back, Evil Dawn. Oh, thank you, Annie, as well. Glad to have our moderator there, kicking ass as always.
Yeah, sorry about that. Laundry called.
No worries, man. No worries. How you digging it so far, Don?
I'm liking it, and I was doing a little bit of soul searching, and I was looking at the skill set, and it looks like my character is more of, as I posted earlier, but like a combination of MacGyver and Ron Rollo from Beetlejuice. The big guy with the who thinks he's an occult expert and things like that. He thinks he's kind of famous and all that whole kit and caboodle.
I never saw the Myrtle.
You never saw Beetlejuice?
I never saw the Beetlejuice. We had this conversation, I think, during one of our OOCs recently, because you had said that you never saw Pulp Fiction. And I said, yeah, the response you get when you say you've never seen Pulp Fiction is generally the same one I get when I say I've never seen Beetlejuice.
Yep, that makes sense.
Damn it! There goes James redeeming the voice change to Arnold for the next segment of the plot. That should make things much more difficult.
Yes.
Alright, so we've got some perception rolls, and some dexterity rolls, and some stealth rolls.
Otho is the name of the character. And as you wouldn't know, but maybe a lot of our viewers would know. But the name of the character was Otho.
Yes, when you said that when it was Rollo, I thought you were talking about a different movie entirely. Make James talk like the dwarves from Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. That's right. I don't know if James can do that voice. Alright, so without further ado, our characters...
I'm not be able to.
That was pretty good. There it is. Lock it in.
You're welcome.
I talk like straight up gangster, bitch.
That's straight up gangster. You want none?
Alright, as your characters, led by Officer Wexel, start making your way stealthily into the hallway. There's a bit of noise being made because there's so many of you that they're trying to get out of here as quickly as possible, that it alerts the living dead that are nearby. And in a bit of panic, everyone roll a willpower check. That's right. Wow, look at those rolls. Detective Kimball rolls Constitution. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
That's the wrong skill. That's the wrong check. I didn't say
I'm not even sure
Constitution.
why it did it.
I said
That's so
willpower.
weird.
They look nothing alike. Don't you know the Dewey Decimal System? Look at you, natural one
Yeah,
again.
no.
You want to fuck with me? You're a choir boy compared to me.
Get free.
Get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mars.
You
Ah,
smoke my stogie too,
Son of
a
a bitch. Alright, so we've got some willpower rolls here. And Detective John Kimball, Matthew Kimball, he screams like a baby girl, and he goes running down the hallway. In addition to like 15 more people who also do the same, they start screaming like little babies, and they just go running down the hallway. One of them sounds like and they go charging down the hall. Those of you who are named Earl or Derek or Paul, what do you want to do?
So the things saw us and started coming from behind us. Is that why they're all screaming and running?
That's right. Some of the living dead start seeing your mass group moving away, and in response to that, people just start panicking and running.
Run, follow me. Well, I'll get you out of here. Run, they're right there. Run.
Just remember, you do not have to be faster than the mob. You just have to be faster than the guys behind you.
Well, that's some fucked up thinking right there. Everybody move. Leave that motherfucker behind.
I want to get out of this. I do not want to be in this situation.
So
I
you're
will
going
put-
to run with everybody?
Yeah, but hopefully not the slowest.
Well, what's your speed?
Well, again, my strength isn't good.
Is there a steam pipe nearby, like a big
Mine
steam
is
pipe?
a 4.
A 4. Yeah, it's not bad. A 4 is pretty slow. There's a big steam pipe, yes. Yes, there is. Let off some steam, Bennett.
Lit up some steam.
I've got one for every occasion. That's right. Do you really think that they went all out trying to push this grape juice? I bet you don't know that quote, do you? But it's an actual one that he said.
Hey guys, maybe I should shoot the steam pipe and it will scald them and they won't come this way.
Demons are not affected by heat.
Since it looks like I'm one of the faster guys, I think I'll run up ahead and make sure like they follow me the right way and make sure the way is clear type of thing.
All right.
Come on, guys, follow me, goddammit.
I'm just picturing James's character doing like John Candy in Spaceballs, where he rips the thing off the wall and then they shoot it and it just goes meow, 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 pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. It'll be distracting to them.
But if you are going to shoot the pipe, you're going to shoot it over there because that's where you're going to get the best angle and that's where you're going to get the best explosion of steam and to structure of the pipe radius.
And as you guys are discussing this, you're also being eaten by zombies while the rest of the group is getting away. Justin, in response to that, since you are the fastest, you do manage to get yourself ahead of the mob, and you spot the door that leads to the team lockers and the dugout beyond, which was the destination at last I recalled.
Who has the fastest speed and what is it?
Mine's a 12.
Okay, I'm not too far behind that.
So yeah, I'll run up there. I'm like, come on, hurry up, follow me, right through this door. And I'll slam the door open.
All right.
I'll follow him.
And try as they may, half of our collective NPCs are not going to make it through that door due to panic, poor positioning, and slow speed. But thanks to your quick reaction, the other half will make it into there, whereas without your guidance, they might have just as easily ran right past it through the large open chasm hallways and eventually been eaten there beyond. So Earl leads a group into the team locker room, followed by presumably the rest of you, or was anybody going to try to stay behind?
Nope.
Nope.
I thought I was running anyways. I thought I failed that check and had to run. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you were the one that was...
yeah, nope, not that way. Must go the other way.
Okay, and our slower speed characters, which are Derek and James, what's yours?
Give me
My
out.
speed's
Give me
a
out.
10.
Give me out. Give me out.
You have a speed of 10. How about you, Don? Oh, you said a 4. Okay, so it is Paul and Derek who are the last ones to make it into the locker room. And let's get a willpower check out of both of you, because there are 2 people right behind you who want to make it in, but you sense a very real possibility that if you hold the door for them, you're going to let some of these living dead in as well and jeopardize all of your chances of survival. And John, you know what you have on your character sheet? I can tell you that you are like 95% sure that's exactly what will happen.
Shut the door. Shut the door. Shut the door.
Well, it is Derek and Paul who are in position to be able to shut the door. So I'm taking it as Derek is going to try to shut the door. Paul, are you going to try to shut the door, or are you going to try to resist it?
I'm going to try to shut the door
All right.
because my knowledge of science and their speed and their distance and the amount of resistance that's in between the 2 of us sort of makes the coefficients of, yeah, they need to go.
That was highly technical until the last bit where you just didn't know where you were going. Like, yeah, they got to go.
Well, fortunately, Star Trek has happened, so the Spock quote of the needs of the many outweighs the needs of the few.
Agreed.
So what kind of door do we have here? Can we lock it? Can we put a mechanical lock on it? I mean, if I have to, I'll shove the fire axe in here to wedge it. I mean, what are we doing here?
Exactly. It's one of those doors that has like the push to open, or on the outside from where you guys came, it was a handle with the little thing that you open with your thumb. So it's a lot easier to open from your side than it is the other side, but there doesn't seem to be a way to lock it. So yeah, maybe wedging the axe in there would give it some stability, because almost instantly once the door is closed, there's banging, thudding, and screaming and shouting.
What about using some of these benches as a blockade?
Or the lockers themselves will move shit.
All right, let's get some athletics checks then in response to that. And anybody who's got, like in Don's case, and I think James might have it as well, traps, let's get a roll of that in addition, just to kind of determine how much of a barricade we can craft here.
And also, once I got through here and everybody was following me, I was going to make sure to go into the room and make sure it was safe and start finding the supplies we were looking for as they were all coming in.
Oh, yeah. Paul was definitely correct. There are baseball bats in here aplenty. There are also baseballs themselves. Some of the, there's 2 sets of catcher's armor, which might prove very useful depending on what you do with it.
Well, I will replace, since I no longer have the axe, I will pick up a bat. Now, I have repair, construction, and electrical. Can I set up some type of way to electrocute the dead that are going to touch this door?
Well, you can definitely make the roll.
Which one do you want? Because I have repair electrical, repair construction, a couple other things, repair plumbing.
I'd go with electrical, since that seems to be the overarching effect we're going for.
And I do have jerry rigged, so I roll twice. Is that right, Don?
Correct.
Correct.
Is there another way out of this room?
There is. You can get to the dugout from the locker here, which will then lead you onto the field.
I'm going to grab one of the baseball bats.
Bat for you as well. Very cool. Anybody who wants a baseball bat can feel free to grab one. There's plenty of them in here. Anybody
Are they
grabbing
metal?
the catcher's armor as well, let me know.
Oh, I'm grabbing that armor.
Is there like a fire axe or anything like that extra one?
There's not another fire axe in here, but there is another fire extinguisher.
I'll grab that. And the fire extinguisher if I can carry it.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that would be closest to a padded armor. So your armor value for that would be a die 4 -1. And there are 2 of those catchers' armor right there if anybody else wants to grab the other one.
Not that it's going to have any real mechanical use, but I'm basically wrapping my hands and arms with athletic tape because I'm more of a brawler, so I'm just kind of protecting my hands and arms because I might be fighting some people.
Gotcha. Good deal on that. John's got 2 first aid kits there. And after barricading the room here, what are we looking at here? Okay, so we got a couple traps rolls. No, we don't need to worry about that. So traps rolls seem decent enough. You got some lockers and benches there that are blocking the door. Eric has jury-rigged something with a wire that he's managed to pry loose from the wall and wrap it around the handle for the door. It might do something if they're able to get in here. Hopefully they don't, and you don't have to ever worry about it, but you've got multi-layered defense, it would seem. And again, a temporary reprieve here as well, as there's nobody trying to bang on the dugout side door, and they're not able to get in the hallway door, at least for the time being. So if you want to take a reprieve here and have some dialogue, this may be a good time to do it. Additionally, as you're looking around at those who made it in here with you, Officer Wexel is not one of them.
I take off my hat. I don't have a hat. But I look solemnly at my shoes.
He's a good, proud American, and we should thank him for his sacrifice for our lives. By chance, did anybody grab his gun?
No. And hopefully the demons don't know how to use guns.
Yeah, dang Skippy. If it was a Russian, they probably would give us a Makarov or AK-47 system. We'd be in trouble, but I don't think they know what to do.
There's still a great deal of screaming and shouting that's just kind of the overall ambiance that you guys can hear even down here in the locker room. It sounds less intense than it was 10-15 minutes ago when all this started, but it is still noticeable. Additionally, you all can hear a very loud crack of thunder.
Thor.
That was
All right,
ominous.
Alright, which one of you is like a hunter or a stealthy type? I ain't got no sneak skills, so if we want somebody to check out the other doors, make sure it's safe.
I could do it. I'm very tactile.
Yeah, no,
Like, you can
basic
touch.
science. Well, advanced science, actually, and mathematics, and...
I don't need your life story, man. I just need to know if you're sneaky.
I am. I'm
No,
very
I'm
sneaky.
not.
Sneaky like a fox, actually.
Alright, maybe you should go check out the other door, make sure if we can get out that way or not.
They won't hear anything. I can do this.
I have the eyes of a hawk and the ears of a fox.
I thought he said it the other way around.
Huh. I always thought the hawk had the eyes, but maybe the hawk had the ears.
No, yeah, that's because the hawk has the eyes. I always thought he said it backwards. I'm gonna have to go watch it again.
The Pecos there, CJ, the Pecos is the river.
I actually live in the area that this is going on.
Yeah, you do. You're just 2 towns to the north of here where the same Pecos River is running right up along the east side of your area there. I've never been, but I've looked at tons of New Mexico maps and been on it through Google Earth many times.
Driving wise, we are roughly, how far are we from Carlsbad? 2 hours? Hour and a half? We're about an hour and 10 minutes away, and I live on the north side of Roswell.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's about just over an hour drive.
Nice. Yeah, that's still one of the dreams right there. I want to take an RV through that whole area there, the Guadalupe, El Paso, Artesia, Roswell, Alamogordo.
Got to visit White Sands. That's right over the hill.
Lincoln.
We've got Trinity. Lincoln. Oh, yeah, all the Billy the Kid stuff.
Yep.
The Trinity sites right around the corner. Maybe that's what caused all of this, all those the first nuclear bomb going off.
Oh, yeah. Block Ranch. Lots of cool stuff to see out there.
Jason, where are the aliens?
They're in the museum downtown.
Okay, good. I would like to see those things.
I actually
They have to
have a
work there.
real-life personal story on that, but we'll do that at another time.
We got a little time after the game is over tonight to always unwind and talk about the session. So if you recall it during that time, then we'd love to hear it. I dropped a bit of detail here. I know that Justin was having James check the other door. Is that what it is while we're rolling the stealth check?
Correct.
Gotcha. Well, you don't hear anything trying to get in through the dugout side, but that door is much less secure than the one leading into the locker room from the inside of the stadium. This is one of those doors that doesn't really have a latch to close. It's just kind of a swinging door that goes from the locker room into like the showers and the coach's office and then into the dugout itself. So if you're going to try to barricade this area, A, it's going to be a lot more difficult to do, and B, if you do barricade it, you're effectively barricading yourselves inside this locker room, because then there will be no way out short of tearing down one of your barricades.
Okay, so once, after I determine that, he'll go over there and carefully leave the door and kind of let everybody know, like, that door it's just a swing. It's like a corral door. It's not really stopping anything. If we barricade it, we're stuck. So, well,
Someone knows that?
One
Nope,
is
not I
none,
can
two
tell.
is one.
I got more than two in my.
One
that's what
is none, two is one. If you have one exit, you don't have one. If you have two exits, you have one. You always
Well
have
said.
one less than what you have.
Fewer.
Whatever. Was there anything on the other side of the door?
More booming thunder, and now the sound of rain coming down fast and furiously and turning the field into mud very quickly.
There was nobody that I could tell was on the other side. I would know. I'm an expert
No.
tracker.
No, then maybe we should use this rain as some sort of distraction to get the hell out of here. They won't be able to hear us.
Is there a way out of the stadium off of the ground floor like this?
I would think so. If there's like groundskeepers and like maintaining the field, that they would use this maybe to go in and out outside the actual stadium proper.
Oh yeah, that would be north and south. The precise north and south entries right here. So you guys could basically get out of the dugout here on the grass level and go right back in the way you came into that melee you just ran away from, which might be a little cleared out when you get around to it. Or you could go under the stands up here in the north and try to exit out through this way here, through the pitchers area, which will lead out to both the VIP parking lot as well as the general parking. And that area is where most people seem to flee to when all of this went down.
I don't know. It seems like the shortest way out will be where we're kind of out, the side we're on. We go all the way up there, and that's where most people went. We're just going to a big fiasco.
Probably
Seems
not
like
wrong.
either one is going to be a fiasco. Hey, what's your name? Paul?
Yeah, it's Paul.
What's in the VIP parking that you kept talking about?
My car is out there in the VIP parking, and I have my sword and my armor out there.
Lord.
Okay, that's a little unusual. I wasn't expecting that. Sword and armor. Okay.
Fellow
So-
prepper,
I do
now.
run
What-
fairs,
God,
so sue me.
hey, whatever
Yo, what?
makes you happy, man. I doesn't bother me. What kind of car you got? How many can we fit in it?
It's pretty big. I mean, we can fit 6 people in my car if we, load the back seat and.
Well, I have a bus.
Do you have a bus? What?
All right. So
Yeah,
you
can
have a
ask them.
car that's
I have a
close. How close is your bus?
Not too far. I think we should definitely get to it though. If we get to it, we are golden. I will drive through whatever. It has pretty much everything we need. Or we can take his car. I mean, whatever you guys think is best. I think
Well,
we know the answer.
if we use his car to get to your bus and I can get to my car's roughly a mile away, maybe a little less. I had to park way out in the middle of nowhere to get here, but I've got a radio mounted in my car, and we can see if we can find out some information of what's going on.
Dan, how many people are in here with us?
10.
Well, unless your car can take 10 people, it ain't gonna really work, is it?
Well, I think he's saying we just stop by his car so he can talk, and we can use it
I'm
as
talking about Paul's car.
mobile command. Well, I know.
Yeah,
but
we get Paul's car to get us to the bus, and then take me to my car. We can all come back and pick up everybody else that's here, as long as they're staying safe and hidden.
Yeah, I mean, I have the new Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
This is starting to sound like an algebra question.
Sounds like a silly Russian-made vehicle, but to which his own.
71 Monte Carlo? That's about as American as you can get.
So you say. So you say.
I got me an F-250, probably 3 blocks from here. It's got my dirt bike in the back.
All right, so it
Well,
sounds
can
like we
put that
all
on the
have
bus. That's easy enough. I got it.
resources.
Yeah,
I also got
Anything
the
in
bus is the priority.
my rifle and my shotgun in the back seat.
All right, Paul, how good of a driver are you?
I'm pretty good.
I can drive. I'll do the driving.
Do you know the area?
I'm from here, man. Fucker.
All
I
right.
know every street, every sign, every shop along this route. Yes, I can find our way.
All
I
right.
know
Let's get to the
Forest,
bus
I know the
first,
area.
then the truck, whichever one's closer. Let's get there first, because my car is probably pretty far away comparatively. And then once we do that, let's get our asses back to Roswell. I potentially have some resources there that could keep some of us safe.
Sounds like a plan. I'm good with it as long as we get to my bus. We're good.
So here's the question then: who's getting left behind? Because now everybody fits in his car.
Well, we need, hey, medic guy, what's your name again? Derek?
Medic guy. That's my name. Medic guy.
Look, there's been a lot of chaos. I'm sorry if I don't remember your
No,
name.
no, no. That's it.
Please
no, you
don't
got
take
it. Medic guy.
Uh,
Okay,
So,
medic guy.
how did you get here?
that's
Is
a
there
good
an
name.
ambulance here? What, more medical supplies? I mean,
Absolutely, absolutely. On the north side of the pavilion, that'd be right there where I imagine everybody came rushing out.
okay, so things just kind of took a change. Let's use the car to get the individuals of us to our individual vehicles and put the rest of the people in the ambulance if it's still there.
That might be a stretch. I mean, that's the we talked about the place that was probably hit the hardest of this. That's right there out front.
I think I hear some stuff going on beyond the door behind us.
All right, then.
Yes,
let's
let's-
get what we need here and make our way north to the parking lot.
Okay.
Are
Just-
we
just let me
taking
get to
all
my
of
bus
the
at some
people
point.
with us?
Let's just take the 6 of us till we find out if we have an ambulance or not. Actually, if they're banging on the door, we might as well just get out of here and make our way.
Are there any like liquid cleaning supplies in the area?
I did check for that. The janitorial closet.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. What are you looking for exactly?
I'm sorry, I see it. I was like, I'm switching back and forth between
Oh, yeah.
screens. I don't always see it.
Yeah, I'm thinking that if we use the janitorial supplies to coat the floor here to make it kind of slick, that it may slow down any pursuers.
Well, there's definitely some cleaning solvent.
All right, so we'll set that up. We'll break up some mop and broom handles and give them to whoever else needs something, just so people have something to use. The more armed people, the better.
Okay. Well, with
And then I
that
guess
done,
we'll make our way. Since it's raining, I don't see why we couldn't just beeline across the field and go straight to the door that brings us to the VIP parking.
all right. Well, with that being the case, as we exit the dugout after trapping the locker room as best we can, we make our way out onto the muddy field, which reduces our respective speed considerably. And additionally, light of sight is considerably obscured as well, as now the sun has come completely down since the last time you guys were out here able to see outside. So, are we still planning on going at top speed, given that we don't really have a clear line of sight around us? But we do have the rain and the thunder masking us audibly, so it's kind of a give and take.
Probably not top speed. I mean, especially since it's slick, we'll need to keep our balance, but, staying low and moving quickly, just not necessarily at a full run.
I'm gonna have the other.
Yeah, moving with a purpose.
I'm gonna take the other 5 people that are with us. Is that right? There's like 5, 10. So I'm gonna take those other 10 people and have them come with me. Stay low and up against the wall on the right as we make our way to the south. Just stay low and against the wall. Use that to guide us where we need to go.
So you're gonna hug the wall to the south all the way around the or all the way around the stadium up to the north?
I thought we were going south to the VIP parking.
No, the VIP parking is north. The general front parking is north, but also wraps around the entire stadium.
Okay, I was confused. I thought we were going south. Then we'll stay to the left hand side as we go up to the north.
Gotcha. All right.
I figure that gives us a little bit of cover from anything that might see us better than going across the field. And since it's slowing us down, we might as well use that, being slow to our advantage, just kind of stealthily take this wall around.
Hi, Warren. All right,
Yeah,
well, let's see who's
making-
getting this.
Yeah, and I'm making sure they're like, okay, come on, you guys, stay with me, look at me, follow me, I got you, let's go. While the rest of them, I guess, run across the field.
All right. Well, in the process of splitting the party up, we are losing a few of these NPCs due to some of the living dead that are still occupying the baseball field here. Thankfully, none of the LD, as they came to be called last time around, are focusing on any of the player characters here, but we do lose 4 more of our 10 who are tailing the group.
She probably shouldn't have wore heels to this event.
Did some of them come with me and some of them went with them across the field? Is that what happened?
Exactly.
Which are the ones that got attacked, the ones that went across the field?
3 of them that went across the field, and 1 of them that was with you. Basically, the one that was in the far back of your train. The rest of you, your wake, kind of alerted a couple zombies to the one that was in the back, basically. And then once you make it to the north side of the stadium and you're able to finally exit into the parking lot area, there's still a lot of people out here, and more than one fracas, it looks like. Like, anytime you're now seeing a fight going on with a large group of people, you're kind of aware of what that entails due to how many times you've seen it just already inside the stadium. And it appears that those who have survived to this point are also aware of that, and it kind of causes a quagmire right here at the entrance to the parking lot, as people are just, we're out of the stadium, but now what do we do? Because there's just lots more undead killing people left and right, and our field of vision is somewhat limited, so it's adding to the terror and the paralysis that is now this giant wall of humanity in front of you.
Which seems like the route that might take us out of this way, towards the VIP parking or towards more of general parking?
Let's roll some notice checks.
Also, is the ambulance still there?
That'll be a result of our perception or notice checks here. Okay. Well, the chain link fence that was erected to create the VIP parking lot, because this is a small minor league stadium, they don't really have a permanent VIP area. That makeshift chain link fence that was constructed is now torn down in several areas, so it's pretty much all one parking lot anymore. None of it seems like it's going to be an easy sell to try to get through. There's no sign of the ambulance. There's no sign of any of the police cars that were parked out here on the spot either, except for one of them that just has its doors flung wide open and its cherries just still providing a little bit of light in this area. There's no sign at this distance of James's character's van. And Justin, your truck is well outside of line of sight at this point.
Yeah, mine was like a couple blocks away.
For sure. It doesn't seem like the VIP parking lot has been, like, ravaged or scavenged or anything. It's quite possible your car is still out there, Dawn. It's just not in its own little protected lot like it was when you left it there.
Okay.
This kind of seems like it's going to be like it was back inside the stadium when you guys were at the top of the stairs and it was do we chance the zombies at the bottom of the stairs or the ones that are coming at us from behind. We're kind of screwed either way. Hopefully we can make it through.
I say VIP area. Let's see if one of the tour buses is back there. Best way to get as many people out as possible.
All right, let's roll stealth checks then, unless we're just going to brazenly go charging out in the open.
Would a climb check be appropriate or no? Just dexterity or whatever.
I would say stealth if you have it, otherwise dexterity. All right, and to quick travel the journey from the north side of the stadium into the center of the VIP parking lot. Our trip does not go entirely undetected, as a few more of our NPCs unfortunately fall victim to the living dead that are just seemingly anywhere and everywhere. By the time we get to the VIP parking lot, we have only 3 of our original 20 or so that were accompanying us through the stadium. And these 3 have names, so we'll find out more about them at a later time, but they may provide, or they may prove to be useful allies in the adventures to come. A bit of good news, Dawn, your vehicle is there intact. It looks like somebody ran into it with their car in possibly an attempt to get out of this parking lot at a high rate of speed, but it doesn't look like they totaled your vehicle or anything. It's just the passenger side door. Looks like somebody kind of scraped up along the side of it, so there's just a long series of scratches.
Great, there goes my insurance rates.
Now, as far as any tour buses that were parked out here, those are all out of the parking lot at this point. There were only 2 of them to begin with at this point, because the other bands that played over the last couple days, they've actually already left the stadium before any of this went down, so it was really just Sod and the Gulag's bus that had to get out of here, and both of those buses have escaped.
All right. I'm going to hop in my car and start her up.
All right.
You
Starts
said
up.
I won't see the van.
What's up?
I'm sorry. You said I don't see the van. My van.
Correct. Yeah, none of your vehicles are within line of sight at this point.
I'm sure mine's probably going to be the farthest away.
That may prove to be the best vehicle, though, because trying to get through this mountain of people and vehicles between here and there would be difficult for even a tank.
All right, so let's get this truck and this bus and get on our way. See if we can pick up any other survivors.
We all gonna be able to fit in here?
Look, pop the trunk. I'll ride in the trunk if I have to get enough people in here.
Well, we got 8 people total. I don't know how that's going to work in any capacity.
Well, 3 in front, 3 in back. 1 could lay on across the top of them, and 1 could jump in the trunk.
Or 2 can jump in the trunk.
Is this a clown car?
I don't care what kind of car it is. Let's just get going.
There, I can sit in the trunk with you because I got my gun, which
That
will
works
kill
for me.
everything in sight. So I'm a crack shot, I tell you.
Monte Carlos did have a pretty big trunk, so.
My dad actually had a 71 Monte Carlo as a race car. Yes, it has a very big trunk.
So
At
I'll
what-
open the
At,
trunk and
at
start
exactly
emptying.
what point does the suspension of the vehicle's integrity come into play? Because I've seen real life stories where we try to fit so many people in a vehicle and it's just scraping along the ground because, yeah, you have the space, but the car's not built for it. And then even if you're able to get it moving, trying to brake the vehicle is a damn near impossibility.
This is one of those. This is the 71 Monte Carlo is one of those cars. It's actually built pretty tough. That's one of the reasons my dad chose it for a race car. It was common as a jalopy style race car. They put a roll cage in it, take all the other stuff out, but it has a big motor. It's
Okay.
got good suspension. It's got a good drivetrain, and it's generally a good handling car. So unless we're sitting, tons of plywood on this, I think we're going to be okay. The 70s cars compared to the cars of today are much better with their suspension, even though they don't handle quite as well as a modern car.
Also, I mean, I think it was designed to carry 6 people. It's it's just a factory thing.
So you figure 6 people plus some stuff in the trunk, we're good. I would
So,
assume. Now,
approximately.
if you want to,
Well, let's give it an approximate percentile value. What's the chance that something would go wrong with this? Or is it 100% guaranteed the vehicle would operate under these circumstances?
I'd say it would 100% operate under these circumstances. However, just like any vehicle, your environment affects how it operates. We're obviously in rain, so it's gonna be a little slick in handling. Or if there's bumps that we have to go over, that could damage anybody's axle. But we'll start downloading some of us as we get to other vehicles, so it's not like we got to drive long distances this way.
I mean, I put up in the Adventurers a picture of the 71, and it looks like it's built like a tank.
Yeah, that's exactly what my dad had as a race car. His was orange.
All
If
right.
you could find a way to share that, if you wanted to people at home.
All right, then. So we can fit everybody inside this vehicle, and we can maneuver around somewhat effectively inside of our tiny VIP lot right here, which is one of the few areas that has space to move around because there weren't many people parked here to begin with. Given that the fences are torn down, our passage into the general parking lot is considerably easier. It's at that point, though, that we instantly run into the impasse of there's 5,000 people's vehicles in this immediate vicinity, and built like a tank or is an actual tank itself, there's just going to come a point that unless you can literally run over the top of these vehicles, you can't go any farther, and that's exactly where we're at.
I see what you're saying. So we're just traffic jammed. We're not going to go any
Oh
farther.
yeah.
Okay. No, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, that was part of the opening setup too, just like how many thousands are in this town compared to how many thousand actually live here. It's like the visitors outnumber the actual population 3-1, and cars are parked on the street like triple parked, just so people could get to this concert. So even assuming that you can get to your car here in the lot, trying to maneuver out of here onto a street that isn't then traffic jammed is going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible.
True story. All right, we'll get as far as we can get, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a couple 100 feet, to be honest, that you're able to get. I mean, the vehicle will hold the weight, and your gear is inside the vehicle. You just don't see any way to get further into the general parking lot from here.
Oh, don't worry
All right.
about. Just get me to the van. We'll be good from there once we get to.
All right, we're gonna try to get to his vehicle, and at that point, we'll leave my vehicle behind, and I'll grab my sword and my leather armor.
Yeah, actually, we don't need the van. We need the bus. The bus is what's going to get us out of here. Imagine how many people we could run over with that thing, and get out. Oh man, it'd be great.
Now,
we'd be unstoppable.
Are we using the same word, or are we talking about two different vehicles? Because in your backstory that you presented, James, you said you have a passenger van that you converted into a living space. But now we're talking about a bus, so I'm curious, are we talking
my
about the
bad.
same vehicle, or?
Same vehicle. Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Okay.
I'm doing bussing people around, but yes, a van.
Right. I mean, you said it was a passenger van, so I figure like 10 to a dozen people easily were going to be able to get inside this thing.
Yeah, for sure. My bad. On.
Hey, no worries.
That's my. This push to talk has been kicking my butt, so I apologize.
That's
So where's
John's
your-
excuse.
So where's your van there?
Talk.
How close is your van?
Well, James does not have the photographic memory that Evil Dawn does, so let's go ahead and roll an intelligence check for James and see if you can recall here in the dark thunderstorm exactly where you parked your vehicle.
guess this is going to be about the time I zip up and button my jacket, because it's cold and wet now.
Well, James, you think you have an idea where it is. The only way to prove whether or not it's true will be when you actually get there. Because your line of sight is pretty much like 50 feet or less at this point.
Do I need to like point it out, or just we already heading in that direction?
It'll be a matter of, I mean, you're thinking that your vehicle is at the closest 200 yards away. And you won't know if, in fact, you're going to your vehicle until you're about 50 feet from it. So you might lead these guys on a 170-yard hike only to realize, oh crap, it was in the south parking lot instead. But you think you know which way to go.
Yeah, friends. I think we gotta go. And he kind of slowly points in the direction up ahead of where the vehicle's already facing. Yeah, go. I think it's about 200 yards that way. Yeah, pretty sure you can't miss it. Beautiful.
All right. Who needs the bat and the catcher's armor?
I took a bat. I have my leather jacket, so I'm good. Give it to one of the other NPCs if we have to.
I could take some of that armor, especially if we need to jump out of this thing and jump into my van. That might be
Because
the
I'm
best
putting
bet.
on the leather armor.
Oh yeah, keep the stuff with the PCs for now. If we have to give it to an NPC, I can easily do so. But for right now, I imagine Don is probably the best equipped of all of us, considering he now has access to his gear.
Is there any like bottles or anything laying around?
Oh yeah.
I'll pick up a couple of unbroken bottles and keep those with me. I might be able to throw those as a distraction at some point.
Cool.
What does the catcher armor provide for me?
It's a
D4 minus 1.
perfect.
What was it again? You stepped on yourself.
Oh, it was a D4 minus 1.
I'm wearing a leather jacket, so I get a D4, a little bit better.
Yeah, we're in the same boat.
Pretty cool, pretty cool.
My leather armor is a D6 plus 1.
Ooh, fancy. You note they actually have class 4 armor in the system.
Yeah, I was looking at all that. I was like, yeah, if it was modern day, that would be totally down.
Oh, for sure. That's when you're playing Fallout versus zombies and you're just like, come at me, bro, come at me.
Special armor.
All right.
Tell you what, the steel plates are heavy. The ceramic plates are big and heavy, although not as heavy. But the new flexible plates are pretty badass.
They even have some to float now.
Yeah.
All right. And as we're making this very long trek across a dangerous parking lot in the dark with slippery roads, all of a sudden, John, there's a figure like right next to you that you didn't even see. And it's not like it's lunging at you, it's just kind of standing there in the dark, and none of you see it until John's pretty much like right up on it. And because none of you are particularly stealthy at this point, this living dead turns and looks John right in the face and just lunges at him with its fangs bared, and only the fact that John is kind of backpedaling in the process and falls on his butt does this thing then kind of leap over him, and it's now face first on the pavement.
I'm going to smack it with my sword.
What the fuck?
So I'll definitely hit it with the bat.
All right, and two of you are right there to see this go down. And Eric
will,
takes...
Sorry, I will step in to pull Derek out of the way.
Cool. And Eric impacts the pavement with the bat, which fortunately does not damage the bat in any visible way. But at the same time, Paul stabs the thing right through the chest with his sword, and it doesn't really seem to do anything to it. It just kind of sits there like at the end of the kebab, just and it's struggling, and now its attention is fully on Paul, and it's trying to like get up through being impaled.
I'll hit it again.
Help.
And Derek has been pulled to safety and can now get back on his feet. And Eric lays a solid hit into this thing's side or wherever, because it's kind of struggling, but you do hit it, and again, it just kind of growls, but doesn't... You think you even felt like something break under the force of your swing, but again, it doesn't seem like it's affected this thing too terribly.
I will keep swinging until the threat is ended. You just tell me when to stop attacking.
After pulling Derek aside, I'd see them just like stab it and whack at it, and it's not even caring. I'm like, oh shit, maybe they are a demon.
Yeah, and this thing is struggling around so much that your next 3 attacks are missing, and on the 4th one, the bat actually breaks against the pavement, and this thing is still struggling around, and after all of this, it's actually kind of torn itself free from Dawn's sword. So now it's got this huge gash in its side, and it's now starting to get back to a knee.
I'll take another swing at it.
Okay. Oh! Well, perhaps not what you intended, but you get a very nice flourishing sweep that takes this thing's head off and sends it into the darkness. And the rest of the body kind of sits there for a brief second, just... and then it drops.
Nice hit.
Oh shit!
I told you it was demons. It was fucking demons. I told you. You guys didn't believe me. You thought it was Russians, but no, it's fucking
Can we just
demons.
shut up and move? Thanks.
If it wasn't Spetsnaz, you'd be a dead man. If it was.
Just wait till we...
I get up to Derek, I'm like, let's go.
Just wait till we actually find the zombie who's got like a Russian cap or something on, and James is like, ah! Aha!
I cannot wait.
Comrade
That would be
Russian!
awesome.
The comrade
All right,
zombie.
I guess, since I have a broken bat now, I guess I'll use it to stab with. How do you want to put that down as a weapon?
Keep it as it is. You're doing pretty minimal damage as it is, so we'll just keep that intact.
Okay.
You all right, Derek? Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Hey, what the shit, man?
And after all that, you make it to the point in the parking lot where James's van is supposed to be, and it's not there. And James, you're not sure if you just mistakenly recalled where you had parked it, or if somehow somebody actually took your van. And you don't see how that's possible because the parking lot is still full and congested. There's not like one obvious empty parking spot where you would have parked this behemoth.
Okay, man, fuck the cars. We can't get out of here on a car anyway. We need to just hoof it.
No. We need the van. How are y'all gonna hoof it? We're hoofing it for a distance. So I'm pretty sure the Russians came in and took it and moved it. So they probably shifted it. And he kind of looks around where he thinks it might be. Yeah, I think it's over there.
Enough of this shit. Follow
I
me.
think it's over there.
3 blocks this way. My truck, my bike, my guns. Let's go.
Give
right,
another
let's go.
intelligence check, James. All right. So there's not really a... It's kind of like any other time. Like when you're using your persuasion skills, your diplomacy skills on your own party, it's kind of, how are you guys going to roleplay it? I will point out, I think James is the only one that has charismatic as a quality. And at a decent level as well. So, you think...
I have
You think you might recall exactly where it is, James.
I have smooth talking as a skill, level 4.
It's really funny that James has charismatic, and he's the guy who's just like, I'm a conspiracy nut. Nah.
But because it's true. I'll kind of not square up, though. He'll kind of straighten up a little bit and be like, "Gentlemen, I know where it is. I promise you, I will get us to that van, and I will get us to safety, if you'll trust me.
You think he can get out of the parking lot?
I know we can get out of the parking lot."
It seems like it won't be a terrible compromise for the group to make, considering that if in the worst case scenario he's wrong about where it is, you're still heading in the direction that Justin is already starting to be like, all right, let's go. I know where I'm parked.
All right, let's go then. Lead the way.
Thank you.
Everybody stick close. Keep you with the batch.
Will do.
All right.
Still
let's-
raining hard. Thunder.
Oh, yeah. Yep, thunder, rain, very windy. Let's get percentile rolls from everyone here.
Well, it looks like that SCA training that I had really came in handy.
I don't know what that is.
Said no one ever.
Oh.
What, you don't know about the Society of Creative Anachronism? It's really cool. I'm one of the sword on the sword fighting team that they have with Live Steel.
What?
And
What'd
That's
you call
what- no, the Society of Creative Anachronism. It's a group that recreates Middle Age fighting and livelihoods, and they have kings and queens and all that other stuff.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
you're a nerd. Okay.
All right. Now we're going to do a narrative finish for the intro episode here, partly as a way to set us up for next week, also partly because of our percentile rolls, also partly just because of the circumstances we find ourselves in. A bit of good news as we continue through the parking lot, we do find James's character's van. The bad news is it is just surrounded. Not like there's zombies around it trying to get somebody in it or on it, but that area of the parking lot is just a lot more infested than any area that you guys have been in since being inside the stadium itself. And it is with James's character's charisma that he is effectively able to continue to convince your party that he needs to get to that van. There's supplies. If he can get to that van, he'll pull it out and he'll come back here to this spot to meet you guys. It's less than 50 yards away. He can sneak through there and get into the van and get back to the rest of you guys. Whatever misgivings your characters may have, whatever smooth talking your characters may have, he is effectively able to convince you all, just give me this few minutes, I'll get the van, I'll come back and get you guys.
Let's go set a car on fire and cause a distraction to make it easier for him.
Okay. And
Setting
while
a car on fire is not as easy as you may think. I mean, there's a lot of factors that you have to take involved with that.
It's also raining like a son of a bitch.
that's the
Fuel.
main thing.
Fuel will burn. It will burn. Trust me. My dad's a TV repairman.
In any case, as James successfully gets to his van and the rest of you are just kind of spectators to this going on from a distance away, being done this way so as to prevent another sheriff incident. I don't need people throwing down boon cards at this precise point. His van starts up, and James, being the bravado character that he is so excited upon this acquisition that he follows it up with a "Mm-mm," which is probably the worst possible thing to do, as many of the zombies that are immediately surrounding this area are now swarming over his van like a pack of dogs on a three-legged cat. The van starts to nudge just a little bit before it crashes into some more cars that are parked nearby. He starts trying to pull out in a different direction. He actually plows through the car that you guys have set on fire as a distraction. He's basically driving a circle around you guys just to try and get these zombies off of him, and trying to also lead the horde away from you guys and not bring them right to you. And just a few seconds after he gets his van out of the parking spot, there's a loud explosion inside the van itself, and the engine immediately dies.
Oh, son of a bitch. Fuck. How far away is he at this point?
Maybe 100 feet?
Maybe a lot closer, with like bits and pieces of them over there, over there, over there, over there, over there, over there.
What's the zombie situation?
Some of them are... Well, most of them are still attracted to that vehicle, even though there was an explosion and it has come to a halt. That was the last source of loud noise, so most of them are still just kind of clambering over that area. This entire section of the lot is just no man's land to begin with. Even where you guys are at, there's undead less than like 40 feet away. They're just not instantly attracted to your presence and barreling down on you.
Yeah, definitely
Time
get
to go.
down, like,
You know what? I'm going to check and see if there's an open car. Checking doors.
Sure, you find an unlocked car.
Quietly open the door. Quietly close the door. Start rummaging around in the glove box. Is there anything I can use? Keys.
There's a flashlight.
Flashlight. Good. That's always a good one.
Yeah. They didn't leave their keys in here, but they're ironically something you don't find usually in the glove box. Gloves.
That's something I could definitely use.
Why don't you just hotwire the car?
That was my next move. I was going to ask what kind of car is it, but go on, Dan. What kind of car is it, Dan?
Well, before I go into that full detail, I can reaffirm that we're still in the same boat, in that even if we get access to a car here, we still have nowhere really to go with it.
Okay, so let's just get the hell out of the parking lot.
I remain here, kind of crouched, just watching the van to see if there's any kind of activity or movement from within, because I'm not sure if what he's doing, if that explosion killed him or just, made the engine go dead.
Roll a notice check. You think you see a few figures on board the van that are moving around, and their body language does not match up with James's body language. It seems like some of those monsters are on his van.
On his van or in his van?
In his van.
Looks like they got inside. I don't see him.
Did that look like a kerosene explosion? Like maybe he had a kerosene stove in there? Or was it an explosion that looked like it may have originated from the engine?
Grenade? I've seen grenades.
Exactly. Murtaugh and Raven would probably identify it more as a grenade explosion. For yourself, Don, you're kind of thinking your earlier suspicions are probably closer to the mark, not necessarily an engine explosion, but maybe like a kerosene oven or something on the van itself that wasn't the van.
He done
Okay.
suicide bombed himself.
Is it on fire now?
It is not on fire. It just instantly, like, the lights on it died. Its momentum instantly just crashed into the next vehicle, and it came to a halt, and it's motionless.
All right, let's make our way to the van, see if he's all right in there, see if we can get whatever's in there out of there.
There's still zombies.
still a
There's
lot of
still
those things around
there's
it.
still a bunch of bad guys there.
No, I'm running in the opposite direction.
Thanks.
That's why I asked him what the situation was. He said it's still got a bunch of undead swarming it.
Hey, just remember how quick these guys were to close the door when the survivors were like, please help it! Nope.
Yeah, now we're down to much fewer.
Hey, there's still 3 NPCs. At least they made it.
Yeah, if you mentioned going over there, I'm like, you sure about that? There's a lot of them motherfuckers over there.
And I don't believe anything could have survived that explosion being inside.
What'd you say, Derek?
I'm getting out.
I
I'm
mean,
really itching to get out. And
Yeah, as described-
why are we still in the parking lot bouncing around from car to car when we know we can't get out of here?
Well, you could dare leak my balls. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like. Did it look like the explosion? As you described it before, it doesn't sound like the explosion came directly from the engine, but it's something inside the van that caused the engine to explode. So it was a double issue. So I don't think anything could survive inside of that thing.
You don't think the engine exploded at all, actually, but something on the van definitely blew up. Something inside of it.
Well, I don't see him moving. I don't hear him shooting. Something else on the van or in the van with him. If he's still alive, he ain't fighting back. That's not a good sign. So I don't think we can do anything here. Although if you want to go, I'm down to go and see what we can do.
What say you, Eric?
I think he needs to be saved if he can. We don't know what happened. The van's still there. It's not on fire. Let's see if we can distract some of that horde and get in there and help him.
Well, what kind of numbers are we looking at between us and the van?
Well, in the general vicinity around the van, you would guess there to be about 70.
Nope.
Not all of them necessarily interposed between you and the van, but some of them easily within. Like, oh, once we get here, there'll be 15 or so that are only 20 feet away. Kind of thing.
I'll get in this car. I'm going to hotwire it. I know I can't go anywhere. That's not my intention. I just want to get in, drive around, honk the horn, flash the lights, distract the mob, get them to chase me in the car. I'm not going to go fast. I'm just going to go make sure the doors are locked. So they can't just pull the door open. And
Man,
then
you
everybody
deluded
else...
yourself. He's gone. He set off a grenade in there. It's done.
I agree. I don't believe anything can survive inside that explosion. And look at all those creatures over there.
Okay. All right. I'm completely asking this out of game. Did it look like a grenade explosion or not? Because I've gotten both stories now.
The way I intend to describe it is that you, Jason, and John, given your military background, you would identify that explosion more as a grenade. Don's character, not having the military background, but a strong scientific background, he's positive that the engine didn't blow up. Something on the van, like a kerosene oven, or something gas-powered maybe, exploded. But it didn't cause the van to blow up. It was something in the passenger area of the van that blew up.
Okay, that's why I was getting to... I'm like, what the hell is going on? Which one is it? And I'm like, Because you're like, yeah, it sounded like a grenade. No, it sounded like a kerosene oven. And I'm like, what the
It's-
fuck?
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's all perspective.
Yes,
It's
I'm going to
character
hotwire the
perspective.
car, distract the zombies. If they want to save them, save them. If not, I will ditch the car and let it roll. And I'll go back to the van and see if I can help him.
Well, what you guys think?
Good luck.
The
What
rest
do you want me to roll?
You're the medic. You're the only one that could really help him if he really needs it.
no first aid. Give me some bandages just in case.
Here you go. I'm not. Yeah, that guy's gone.
You distract him. You guys start heading. I kind of point at the direction my truck is in. Head that way. It's parked behind Joe's hardware store. And me and him are going to see if we can help.
Can we have the keys?
Fine. I hand the keys to Derek.
That's all right. I know Derek will leave you guys behind too. So I mean, that's...
You say that.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'm brilliant.
All right. So we will continue the narrative finale here in light of the aftermath developments. And in that respect, essentially, Jason is going to get this new car that he is hotwired just swarmed with LD to the point where he won't even be able to accelerate or reverse anymore, and he is now trapped inside of the vessel. Thankfully,
I'll just start running over the dead.
well, we've seen that in Walking Dead before. You run over 1, 2, 3, 4, and now all of a sudden you've got a torso wedged in the wheel well, and the car just won't move anymore. And that's exactly the state that you're going to be in here because there's so many of them around you. Thankfully, because Justin has come with you to assist, and he brought some bottles and other means of distraction, he's able to successfully get them off of your tail just long enough for you to get out of the vehicle and back over to him, and that somewhat bit of safety. However, in the course of all of that, you've now attracted all of these LD towards you guys.
Well, while he was distracting him with the car, I was going to go over to the van and check James.
Gotcha. I'm not explaining it well enough. There's not enough time. He doesn't get enough of them away before he is in turn in need of help himself. And then as you try to help him get out, you now have all of them after both of you.
Scooby-Doo, we'll run through the other door and come out through that one.
Yeah, Derek and I are heading towards that other. We're out of there.
Oh, for sure.
All right, so are we swarmed or what's going on now?
You are in danger of being swarmed. It's basically proceed forward into the swarm or run away from the swarm.
Run away from the swarm.
Well, the question is also then, we were trying to get to the van. Did we even get any closer to it or what?
Definitely got closer to it. If it was like 100 feet away, you guys are now like 50 feet off from it.
Oh, good. We can make a mad dash to the van on that one anyways.
Would that just leave us swarmed again, or what?
Well, if we can get in the van, we can definitely... He has resources in there that he told us about, so let's get there and...
Oh, the other thing with that is we know a grenade went off in there, so who knows what's left?
Only one way to find out. Let's go.
Well, that's why I want to hear from Dan what, looking at the van, the situation around us with the enemy, does it seem viable to get to the van and safely get away if we have to?
Unless you've got some other great means of distracting these things off of you once you get to the van, only thing that's going to happen is you're going to lead them to the van and then be confined to that spot. at least where you're at now, you have the potential to get out of the parking lot rather than get stuck in the middle of it.
All right. So since you seem hell bent on getting to the van, even despite the danger, I'll say, all right, head for the van. I'll draw him off. I'm fast. I'm loud. Go. And I'll start screaming at the top of my lungs, I want to be an airborne ranger, and running away from the van.
Try
And
to
I
get
will
me a
run to
scholarship.
the van.
This is just entertaining to me. I'm sorry. Keep going.
I am a show off and reckless, so whatever.
To entertain and trying to save you. Let's.
Gonna have me some fun.
So yeah, I will be the distraction. I have a speed of 12. Show off I'm reckless. I have nerves of steel. I'm like, I can outrun these fucking things. Let them chase me for a while.
All right,
All right.
well,
Make my way to the van.
let's just cliffhanger it here because I feel like we're going to go in circles with this for a good long while here. So, I will take the week to reconsider the narrative plan that I stamped in stone before I even uttered the first word about it, that you guys are now trying to erase off of the stone. I will take the week to reconsider this plan.
Oh, well, I thought the narrative was that he crashed and blew up. I didn't think it was we can't get to the van.
I was just trying to save a player.
Oh,
I
for
mean,
sure.
if
The
you had-
sheriff prefaced
If you had
telling.
it set up to where he was gonna die, that's fine. We'll
Well,
go
it's-
the other way.
It's all in, like I said, it's all in relation to the circumstances we find ourselves in, both in-game and out-of-game. You all know that James will not be here next week. The narrative device did not have a definitive beginning or end to it, so much as we're going to conclude the session with this narrative bit here, and now we're in the state that we're currently in. Not to say that anything is final or has to be done in such a way, it's just that we're going to take some time on both sides of the table over the next week to just readjust exactly where we're at, see if there were any miscommunications, and who knows, maybe James will be here next week and he'll be playing his character. Anything is possible, so yeah. Great job tonight, guys. We can definitely wrap up
Thank you
the game section here and have our after-party discussion. I think it went pretty well from beginning to end. The always difficult narrative enforcement notwithstanding.
Well, again, I had misunderstood what the narrative was at that point. Because you were like, okay, yeah, he crashes and there's an explosion. I'm like, okay, that was the narrative part.
Makes
I
sense.
didn't realize the narrative was also don't go to the van, basically.
Understood.
Yeah, I was thinking save player, not PC, not necessarily, save the character specifically, just because that character. But James would continue playing. I know that he has a moment where he's a week where he's not going to be here, but is he going to be Raggar the Red standing in the background, or what? I didn't know you had planned on just giving him the exit, an explosive exit.
Yeah, I figured it was either going to be he's like MIA for a minute and then he comes back, or if we find him and he's like in a coma and we take him with us type of thing.
Oh yeah, and any of that is entirely possible too. I mean, all of this entire thing was developed throughout the course of today after James just said, hey guys, I won't be here next week. So then I'm now considering what are some options that we can do to have the character not here next week that isn't something that we always do, and then things just kind of snowballed from that.
Plot twist: he's actually a Russian agent leading the invasion.
Well, I agree with Dan that this is a great place to end for the evening, and we could probably pick this discussion up, after and everything like that. But Dan, awesome game. I really love playing your game, and this has a lot of the elements of a good horror campaign.
Well, thank you very much.
I absolutely
What-
mirror what he said.
Why does it feel like I was the only one who cared about the NPCs dying?
It's cool
Because
then.
you were the only one that cared about the
Shit about
NPCs
the
dying.
NPCs.
My character is somewhat in shock. I don't have nerves of steel, so I'm like, right now, if it's not right in front of me or a PC, I don't really care that much. I'll probably freak out a little bit later when things slow down. But until then, yeah, I'm not gonna. I'll have my moment.
Yeah, I purposely put myself into the locker room where I couldn't see them close the door on some people and leave them to die. Because I'm like, that's going to be a bad situation if I see that. So I'm going to make sure I don't see that.
Yeah, that was definitely going to be a tricky one, and seemed like a great time to remove Officer Wexel as well while people weren't necessarily watching him as closely.
He'll show up as an undead later.
My initial plan was I wanted to bring in an extra player for this game, and I couldn't find anybody at last minute notice, but I wanted to have somebody take over the role of Officer Wexel and just make like this badass character sheet and have them come in and save the day, but then have it be like a one-off. Like, it's like, hey, great, we got a new player in the group. Oh, they're dead. Oh, they're not coming back. Oh.
Death Star.
So that's what James did now. All right, I'm tracking.
How about you, John? What'd you think?
Yeah, it was fun. There's a lot going on. So I felt like I just kind of sat back and let everybody run the show. But it was pretty good. I mean, I am also trying to play this character, obviously somewhat cowardly and somewhat in the background, trying to leech off of everybody else a little bit. So hopefully that was accomplished.
I dug
Yeah,
the...
this is my first foray into the Agent Orange, whereas everybody else has played before. So I'm actually kind of digging the 70s horror, and it's a little different for me because I actually know what these areas look like, and I know what they feel like in December in the rain.
Oh yeah, it's a nice mixed bag here of former and new Agent Orange players, because Justin and Don were part of the very original Agent Orange back in 2013. And John, I want to say, jumped in at the mid-season of Season 2 after we had converted over to Roll20, and that would have been 2017, I think. And then you, Jason, and James have never played in Agent Orange at all. So it was nice to have a mix of people who didn't know what to expect, along with people who probably thought they knew what was coming. And then John, who's kind of in the middle of all of that, where he's seen a lot of what's happened before, but he also missed a lot of what happened before that. I know that in our original foray into Agent Orange, like from the get-go, it was people were getting attacked with the bites like right on the ground floor of the concert venue, whereas if you noticed, a lot of the attacks that were coming at your characters and even the NPCs to an extent were scratch attacks. Maybe lethal, maybe not as lethal, but it was something that I wanted to kind of work up the intensity rather than just start off right into it. That was something else we didn't do last Agent Orange. First time we played Agent Orange, it was you're at the concert and then all of a sudden there's zombies everywhere. This time we got to have a little
And
bit.
my taco.
Your taco, and it was Lost in the Rain. And we got to have a little bit of role play with the characters leading into the apocalypse, just to get a glimpse of who they were before they're in this stressful situation where it's react, react, react.
And it looks like we got to see Patient Zero.
Maybe. We definitely saw one of the early ones here in Carlsbad, but the insinuation is always that they've kind of been spreading in the region in the days leading up to this, and we're only now just finding out about it. Like we never really touched upon it in-game dialogue before, and only some of you have read the actual screenplay that I've written for Agent Orange, which is vastly incomplete. But that's one of the things that in the first scene when Dawn's character is talking to another police officer at the stadium is, hey, did you hear about what was going on up in Artesia, or what was going on down here in this town? There's like rampant murders going on, like there's riots and stuff happening. Like at least here, even though it's loud and it's overcrowded, at least people aren't getting killed.
Yeah, because cities and towns here are very isolated. It takes a while to get from one to the other. Now, there's lots of little, like, ranch houses and farmhouses out in the middle of nowhere, which is why I originally, that was another secondary concept for a PC, was to be one of those ranch hands, because we have so far in between here. It's like Roswell sits where it is. Artesia's 45 minutes south. North, the nearest town is Vaughn, and that's 2 hours away, hour and a half away. It's 100 miles. To the east, you have Portales, which is 2 hours, hour and a half.
Okay.
And to the west is Rodoso Downs. As well, there's a couple of tiny little towns on the way, like Picacho, Tinney, which literally are just a handful of buildings. And everything is so isolated here. It's like one spot here, nothing. One spot here, nothing. One spot here, nothing. And it's like, wow. So I see how you're saying that with the screenplay, that it would be like that, which I never read. So if it's available, I'll read it.
Oh, for sure. I think I only have, well, of course I have a digital copy of it, but I think I printed like 4 or 5 hard copies of it. And it's really only the first couple scenes introducing the characters, how they get out of the stadium, and then their first location after that, and starting to assemble the cast. Because that was one thing different about this Agent Orange and the last one. Was the first one, from the get-go, it was, okay, let's find survivors, let's find a place to build, let's start building our base, let's start hoarding supplies, and not that that's not a rational plan of action to take, I just want to see us go a different route with these characters, and that's partly why there's always going to be something happening, so that we don't necessarily have time to kind of settle down and get into that. Now, before we close out entirely, in addition to any other comments that any of you guys have, Jason, what was that personal story about aliens?
Okay, so I used to work security out here at what we call the university. It's Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. That is the old Air Force Base, which is the base where they took the flying saucer that crashed. Now, I worked graveyard, the overnight shift, and I worked alone. I was out patrolling around, and we still have the airfield and all of that out here. Now, some of the old buildings were still there. A lot of the old buildings are still there. The particular building I'm about to talk about is gone, as well as the building that was next to it. Both are gone now. Razed. There's not even a foundation. Gone. I was out on patrol one night, and I come around the corner, and this particular building had the old tower in it, which was only about 3 stories tall, and 2 garage doors in the front. Now, it had kind of a regular building for the rest of it, single floor building, but it had some bushes that had been growing because it's derelict. I come around the corner, I make a right-hand turn, and I shit you not, I saw a fucking alien running away. He was like a green-gray color. He bolts left around the building, and I'm like, did I just see that? I pull up to that corner, stop the car, get out. I'm looking for prints on the ground, don't see nothing. I'm looking for where he could be, don't see anything. I'm looking in the building. I can't enter it because it's locked, but I'm looking through all the windows. There's not furniture in there. I mean, I can see clearly, but I know I saw him, and I know he was running because he was running away from me. He stood just over 4.5 foot tall. Now, I went back a couple years ago to look at the building again. Gone. And the only thing left is a manhole. That's it. Parking lot's there, but the slab, the cement slab for the building, gone. Everything is gone. So, yes, I saw this with my own eyes.
Did you go down the manhole yet?
I have not, because I don't have the breathing apparatuses to go down there to do that with.
Pretty cool story, man, and very freaky.
Yeah, it's very creepy.
I haven't shared that with anybody except Terry. So
Wow.
you guys are the only other ones to know.
Well, how about that? Thank you for sharing. And thank
Now,
you.
there are rumors
Oh.
of underground city under the airport. All the, a lot of the old hangars, they're still there, and there's companies that operate in them. One of them tears down old aircraft for recycling, rebuilds what parts can be rebuilt, sells them off, blah, blah, blah. One of the things in their contract when they buy these buildings is they're not allowed to dig.
Unsolved mysteries. Do 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 do.
I just want to punch an alien in the face and say, "Welcome to Earth," but that's just me.
Could have been at a barbecue.
And what's that smell?
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Murtaugh, the Buff One, J-Man, Raven, Evil Dawn himself. I, of course, am Mr. Orange, the Game Master of Agent Orange here. Hope to see y'all tomorrow night for Out of Character, where we will be discussing our first ever role-playing experiences, be it tabletop, video game, etc., and our horror game experiences, which if we had no answers for prior to tonight, maybe we have a few more to add to the mix based off of tonight's events. Thank you all. Thank you, Terry Nooner, for the follow. Thank you, AC Green, for the follow. Thank you, Annie Bag of Donuts, for rocking it on moderator duty as always tonight. Thank you, Hans Loves D&D, and CJ for the hosts. And have a great night, all. Are you with us?